For the fun of it, let's do a clap sync, just for old time's sake. 3, 2, 1. That was so delayed.
Anyways, yeah. 3, 2, 1. Got it? Okay, cool. Okay, Adam, you go ahead.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, clap. Blah, blah, blah. Who gives a f anymore? Moving on.
Okay, yeah. It doesn't matter.
Welcome to the next episode of Video Game Book Club. It's always chaotic over here. All that's staying in, by the way. So for this episode, we played Resident Evil 2, a remake of Resident Evil 2 that came out in 2019? 2019, I believe.
Is it called Resident Evil 2 Remake, or is it just called Resident Evil 2?
Just called Resident Evil 2.
Well, that's pretty unoriginal.
Yeah.
Imagine making a game and calling it Paper Mario the 1,000-Year Door. Fucking dumbasses.
I think in Japan it's called, like, Biohazard RE 2.
Yeah, because,
yeah.
just Resident Evil is known as Biohazard in Japan.
Right, and the RE means Resident Evil, and it also means, like, remake. It's kind of neat. I think that's true, don't
And there's Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, which I'm just going to assume in Japan is Biohazard.
Biohazard. Okay, well, let's see here. I guess, do we want to give a little history lesson on Resident Evil 2 as a whole? Because it might need a little explaining, because there are 2 games with the same name.
Yeah, you can do that. I don't know enough about the original to do that.
I know a decent. So, 1998, like January, I think. It was early in the year. It was, like, hot off the original Resident Evil. Like, it was very short after that release, which I think was a launch title for PS1, and it was a pretty big hit. RE2, it's a Capcom game.
Worse.
Don't even. I'm gonna bring up Luigi's Mansion later. But so it's just like about 2 years after RE1 comes out, they drop the sequel. It's on 2 discs. So there's Leon, which is the first disc, and Claire on the second disc. And it's basically just a survival horror game, pretty by the books. And it originally was only for PS1, and then it got an N64 port, which is insanity. And then eventually it came out on PC and GameCube, and actually, I would say it came out on everything, but it actually didn't. It hasn't really left classic platforms. And then if you're a real freak, you'll point out that there's a Game.com port. Show a quick clip of what a Game.com port of Resident Evil 2 looks like. Trust me, it's entertaining.
Oh my god, is that thing?
It's worse than you're thinking. It's worse than you're thinking.
Game.com?
You'll see. You'll see. Think of it as a cell phone that played video games.
What the fuck?
I told you it shouldn't exist. It shouldn't.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So that's your trivia for the day. So that's the original Resident Evil 2. And so in 2002, I think it was, maybe 2001, there was a remake released of Resident Evil 1 for the GameCube, just called Resident Evil. And it's pretty much considered a perfect game. It's like a flawless remake, still holds up to this day. I mean, if you saw it now, you might think it's brand new. It's that good. And that is on modern platforms. So ever since that came out, everyone's been begging for them to do the same thing for RE2. Where's the RE2 remake? We want RE2 remake. And they didn't do it for years. And I think early in the PS4 generation, they announced they were working on an RE2 remake and then went silent about it. But then finally in about 2019, they actually got around to finishing it. And that is what we played. We played the 2019 remake, which is pretty faithful. It still has both discs, although now they're combined into one game. And it's on everything. So that's the gist.
Hell yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and start on a big positive, because I'm gonna be pretty negative for this review.
Okay.
So, what did you guys play this on?
I played it on PC.
What did you say, Wes?
I played on PS5.
Okay. I played on a Steam Deck. Which, if you've ever used a Steam Deck before, it's kind of quirky.
That's self-sabotage, gonna be honest.
Well, I can confidently say I played at 60 FPS on max graphics, without ray tracing. There was no ray tracing, but 60 FPS max graphics, not a single issue. Ran great.
Wow, that's impressive.
Oh, I thought the complaints were all going to be that your game didn't actually run.
No, it ran great. The only things I turned off were depth of field and motion blur, just because, fuck those.
Preference. And then, I was going to say, PS5 got it like a native upgrade, I think in like 2020, 2021 maybe. And it looks great too. I mean, kind of to be expected, but I think it's 4K 60, you got ray tracing, whole shebang. And then, Hunter, I know you're not as privy to the details on this stuff, but you got 60 FPS 1080p, most of the settings cranked up. Although you also had screen space reflections, you did not have ray tracing.
I don't know what ray tracing is, gonna be honest.
Yeah, fair enough.
I did turn off screen space reflections because I just didn't like how they looked.
Fair enough. Yeah, they look really bad in this game. I'm not gonna
lie. I honestly have no clue what you guys are saying right now.
Look at like the Digital Foundry on this game's screen space. It's really terrible, honestly.
I'll be real. I just don't like how this game looks. Is that just me?
I love how this game looks.
It's like almost a realistic art style, but the animations are just like snappy enough that it feels uncanny.
I have no problems with the way this game looks.
I think it's a little uncanny. I think
to give like an opposite example. Let's say you attack someone in The Last of Us. All the animations flow together super well. Versus this, it's just like snapping around, and it's like, I don't like how that looks with the realistic-ish art style.
That's a fair point. And again, we didn't come to this early. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I did like that because I feel like it kinda. Okay, I have mixed feelings on it, but I would say it could be bad, it could be good, but I'd say good. I like the way some of the stuff just looked weird and out of place, but it looked like it was like straight out of like the original like 1998 game, just in like the style it like was in. Like whenever like a monster kind of attacked you and stuff would go more into like a cutscene, or like whenever like you were cutting something with bolt cutters and it would go into an animation of just the bolt cutters cutting something.
I loved that stuff. That all was amazing.
I thought that's what you were talking about.
No, I'm talking about like just imagine a firefight with a zombie. Like I just don't like how the animations.
To give an example, when in like The Last of Us, when you're even just walking around, the way characters move, they kind of jog more naturally. They kind of push around things. And this game, Leon, he's very like it's mechanical.
He's rigid.
It's very
Leon cannot jog.
There's a quick turn button that just makes you snap around 180 degrees pretty quickly. Like, I get that. And I would say part of this, I actually do also, I like those elements of the game. And I think part of that is that I have familiarity with this action style of Resident Evil. I played RE4 and RE4 Remake, and I absolutely adore both those games. This controls very similarly to those games, and I just love how familiar it felt. But I will also admit, it's still clink. It's clunky. And I also think to some degree it's meant to replicate those tank controls of the original. Slightly, and it's like slow clunkiness, but I would agree that at times the animation doesn't match the hyper realism. And the face models, they got better in the next RE remakes. They're not as good in this game. Like I think Leon looks strange, especially to me.
Yeah, it's a shame nothing else got better in the third RE remake.
Well, I would love to talk about that sometime, but RE
I wouldn't.
Oh, we're talking about that one next month?
Okay, I'll pick it.
No, I told Wes in a DM, if we have to play another Resident Evil game before the end of the year, I will combust. I will die.
Well, wait, I thought guys, I thought we were planning on Resident Evil 7. I thought that was a done deal. Hello? Oh god, I think you guys died.
No, we didn't.
Not physically, but emotionally, yes.
For what?
You forgot RE7? It's RE8, you dumbass.
Yeah, RE7 doesn't exist. It's called Biohazard.
It's called Biohazard. Come on.
Well, yeah, I don't know. My initial impression of this game, the first thing I thought is it just looks so goddamn good.
My initial impression is remembering people immediately seeing the trucker eating the cheeseburger and are like, this is the stand. I don't know the word. This is like the mark point of what graphics should be. And now I look at it and it's just like, I don't really like the way that looks.
I love the way it looks. I think it still holds up so well. I mean, I still think there are games like Last of Us Part 1, I think, has knocked this game out of the park in terms of facial animation. Like, I think it just looks way better. But, like, I still think it holds up really well. It is a little stylized. And I love the trucker guy, man. Sounds like my wife. He's awesome.
Sounds like my wife.
Sounds like my wife. He runs a woman over.
So while we're talking about what characters say, do you guys like the voice performances in this game?
Favorite part of the game?
Really?
Dude,
No.
Leon's VA, I hope he got paid well, because he phoned it.
Bro, listen, I love the voice acting in this game. I think everybody's cast well, honestly. I actually think it's good voice acting. But Capcom does this, man, where the characters are running around. They just always gotta make it,
That
What's
too!
with that, man? What's with that? Also, Ada's voice in this game is way better than RE4 Remake, but I don't want to go into that because it's a whole can of worms and people are nasty about it.
Alright.
But,
Around, like, the middle of my first playthrough, I turned off voices.
damn, really?
I think it was when Leon said "Q on that" to the big alligator thing. I was like, yeah, I'll just read the dialogue at the bottom. I've got this.
I love Leon, man. I love him. He's such a cornball. I love that about him.
I would have liked it if it was delivered better, honestly.
I love it, man.
The VA had just a
like
smidge more charisma. I hated it. He just said it so flatly.
That's what Leon is, though, man. He delivers like absurd lines that he thinks sounds cool in the lamest way possible.
And
That's why I love
get
him.
how people can like that. I simply don't.
Dude, it's so much
Honestly,
worse
I
in
didn't
RE4.
even notice it for the most part, what you guys are talking about here.
It's worse in RE4. Like,
Can't use
so
words
much
on this
worse.
guy. Or no, it's like words won't work on this. I think.
Where'd everybody go? Bingo?
I don't know, man.
Oh, bro, okay, the one instance of that where I did have a problem with voice acting is right when you get out from the gun shop, he's like, that would explain some of the things I've seen. Like, what do you mean, dude? You just watched a kid, like, die. Like, but, anyways, we gotta go a little chronological here. Let's get back on the rails. So, the game opens at the gas station, and I think another thing, just another visual thing, this game has so much, like, environmental density of, like, unique assets. Like, I know the opening is a gas station, so of course it's gonna have products everywhere, but it's so dense,
Right.
man. There's details, like, everywhere. Super impressive.
The gas station is like a perfect first area because it's super claustrophobic and you're just super nervous going around every single turn.
Did you guys get stuck in the back on where to put the key? Because I did.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't remember being super stuck, but I also think I was told wrong or something like that. Maybe
I told you were going
in my
the wrong way.
quite guided playthrough.
Yeah.
Bro, watched a walkthrough.
I am a walk. I did. There was a lot of assistance here because we have to meet our deadlines.
Hunter pulled up Zach Scott Games.
Yo, the OG.
I just want to add quickly, I'm going through my notes and you can see my slow descent into madness. I wrote in quotes, words won't work on this thing. This game's writing is slowly pissing me off.
I love it. I loved every second of the intro. I love how they tie the little intro with the truck driver back in. So Leon meets Claire here, right? And they get in the car. Claire's objective is she's looking for Chris from RE1, who is a cop at Raccoon City. Chris never shows up, so she's on a pointless journey. And Leon is here because it's his
Bro,
first
I don't know
day.
why she thought Chris was gonna show up. Very early on, it was shown in this game that it was all just
I know.
screwed.
She was way too confident that shit was gonna work. But then,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna find my brother.
Yeah, at what point...
Yeah, like one of like
After
the,
the gas
30
station-
people alive in the city.
Yeah, after the gas station scenario, you don't head towards Raccoon City, you head away. Like, let's be real, you're not gonna
Yeah,
continue.
no.
Leon
That
probably
police
would.
officer in the gas station was way too confident. Like, stand back, I got this, or...
Like, Leon, I can see him wanting to help his fellow citizens. He's a police
Yeah.
officer. If I'm Claire, I'm going home and, like, shooting Chris an email.
Claire's like a college student, I think, like canonically. Like she's just like a nobody. She has no. I mean, I guess her brother's a cop, but that
She has a gun, I
That's
don't know.
in the original
She's an
RE2,
American. Come
she
on.
actually doesn't have a gun. Leon gets out of the glove box for her. So I don't know if they showed that in the remake. I don't remember.
I don't think so. I think she
I don't
had
remember
it
them
at,
showing
I
that.
think they did.
I think she had it at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had it at the
I guess
start
they-
because you shoot the zombie that was eating the cop.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's weird. Interesting. Or at least in the Leon A. Claire B. scenario. I can't speak otherwise. So
I actually did.
one thing
So I did both A scenarios.
Oh, really?
Oh, Adam.
What?
Did you do both B scenarios? You said you played the game 4 times.
No, I meant 3. But I only ever saw people do Claire first scenario, or no, Leon first scenario, then Claire second scenario. So I did Leon first, and then I was like, oh, well, I want to do what I haven't seen. So I did Claire first after that, and then Leon second.
Interesting. So I wonder how differently that ended up playing out. Not very, actually. I'll spoil it for
not
you.
at all.
Very, very simply. Pretty much no changes. I want to compare at the very end some things I didn't, some changes, good or bad, about this game to the original. As someone who has not finished the original, I've played some of it. I'm very familiar with it. So I feel somewhat qualified. But I guess the first instance of that here is that this game starts with you walking to the police station from the crash site when Leon and Claire are separated. Mm-hmm. This is almost entirely cut out from the remake. This lasts like a minute, I think, at most.
Yeah. So from what I know of RE3 Remake, I can't speak for this one, but they cut a lot of stuff from these remakes.
Yes. Well, RE2 is different because the way the original RE2 worked, it was still Scenario A and Scenario B. In this game, they have what's called Second Run, which is meant to replicate Scenario B, where you play as one character first, and then you see the other character's perspective. But the problem, honestly, my biggest criticism with RE2 Remake, we'll get ahead of ourselves here and just say, is that they don't mesh. Things happen in A and B that just could not happen concurrently. And they don't have as many changes as the originals did, and because of that, they didn't choose to just adapt Leon A, Claire B, for example. Leon's run in this is kind of an amalgamation of Leon A and Leon B, and Claire's run is kind of an amalgamation of Claire and B. So, in truth, even though the second run does exist, the changes it makes are very, very minor, and it really is just all 4 possible runs from the original Resident Evil 2 have been combined into a 2-part single run. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. And
it's not bad, it's just different.
Yeah, not bad, just different is exactly how I'd describe it. It wouldn't make sense if this was your first Resident Evil game. Like, if you just sat down with this and tried to play it, you'd be like, what the hell is going on?
Right. What's a second run? Do I have to play the game twice? And yeah, so I guess we get to the Raccoon, and I also say, some of the stuff with the city in the beginning, they actually just moved it elsewhere. So it's not like they just cut the stuff. And that's the thing about RE2 Remake that is interesting, is that they've cut actually very little, and they added quite a bit, but they move stuff around. So stuff that you saw in Leon A, you'll only see in Claire B, that kind of stuff. It's really, really weird. But, yeah, I guess once you get to the police station, the game opens up a little bit, right?
No, not really.
A little bit. I guess, yeah, you got a little bit of an intro where there's only one door, isn't there?
And then after that, you have to go through another specific door, don't you?
Yeah. So I guess you meet Marvin after you cut the guy in half. And
Leon goes into the police station. He opens the door on the right, and it only kind of opens, so he peeks under it. Yes. Except he doesn't peek under it. He jams half of his body through it and looks to the right and looks to the left. What a fucking dumbass!
Well, Leon is a dumbass in this game. That's what's so great, is that compared to RE4, where he's like action hero badass, in this game he sucks so bad. That's why I love him, though.
First day on the job.
It is first day on the job.
He should be fired immediately. He's not qualified.
But, yeah, you go get the guy cut in half.
Bruh, I don't know if the police chief was qualified.
Well. Hunter, you don't even know the half of it.
Wait, yeah.
I want to get right there.
No. Save it for later.
What one playthrough did you do? Did you do one Leon or one Claire?
Leon A.
Leon A.
So, yeah, I mean, we get our first little puzzle notebook that doesn't mean anything. We get back to the lobby, and the lobby is kind of our hub in this. And really, what the first half of the game is about is it's like Luigi's Mansion. Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that was my first thought. It's like, I always thought Luigi's Mansion was kind of its own thing, but it's very obviously an retrospective tribute to the Resident Evil. Like, it's just straight up family-friendly Resident Evil, because it's all about, you get one big environment, it's kind of interconnected, there's little shortcuts, and it's about unlocking doors, finding the next door, finding an item, and using it elsewhere. It really is just Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion is better Resident Evil.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that, I mean, really what Resident Evil games are about is they're horror games, but they're not about jump scares so much and scary situations. They're about stress and ammo management and never knowing what you're gonna need when, and just getting jumped by shit and having to adapt. Like, and what I love really compared to RE4 about RE2 is that because it's so non-linear, and zombies are finite, assuming you board up windows and stuff, right? It really does feel like it's so immersive how you kill a zombie in the first 20 minutes of the game, and you could, at the very end, he'll still be lying there dead, right? And he doesn't come back. I love how immersive this game is in that way. I was super impressed by that.
You see, you said it was mostly about stress and never knowing what you will need when. Yeah. I was never really stressed out about anything in this game. Only just annoyed. Like, I just didn't... Oh. I would go to do something and I wouldn't have the thing I needed, so I'd have to walk back to the box and get the thing I needed and then walk back to it. I never really had that big of a problem with ammo, and when I did run out, you can just kind of walk past the zombies.
Yeah.
Most of them aren't a threat.
I mean, yeah, the game's pretty easy. I guess I'll just say that. It's a pretty easy game.
They offer harder difficulties for that, though.
Yes, they do. And that's what's so great about Resident Evil games is that when your first time through, it's kind of stressful just experiencing the game and not knowing what to do and where to do and, you know, what you need to have on you. And then the second runs get better and better as it becomes, make the difficulty harder, more zombies, less ammo. And so they're so scalable and replayable. That's one of the things I really love about these games. But yeah, I guess, Hunter, did you like the ammo managing, inventory management aspect of this game?
No. That was my least favorite part of the game, probably.
Dang.
I didn't dislike it, I just thought it was not great.
It's like the core of the horror for this game for me. You know, it's what makes this game, like, intense.
I want them to make a scary game, but I still want to be able to kill everything. Find another way to make it scary.
I want them to make I want them to make a scary game where they can have a boss fight where they don't have to give you 100 things of ammo in the arena.
Yeah, we'll get to the bosses as they come.
We'll get to the bosses, but I'll just give a teaser for the bosses right now. There's not a single good one.
I disagree, but I don't disagree by much. So I guess really...
I'd agree. I'd agree with Adam.
Damn.
The bosses are... gameplay-wise, like, or segment-wise, I don't know what you want to say, because I just like the ammo system management more, but it's kind of a different thing. That is my other least favorite parts of the game.
The bosses.
So I have a question with this game. There wasn't, like, an attack you could do that didn't use anything, right?
Nothing. No, there's nothing.
Yeah, I think...
However, that's a change. That's not the case in the original. The knife never breaks in any of the classic Resident Evil games. All the remakes change that.
Oh yeah, I should play those games then. They're probably better.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Remake, RE4 original, I'm telling you, you guys would love it.
So, I think what they should have done, instead of giving you so much ammo for a certain area... I don't want to get to bosses. You know what? I'll talk about this for bosses. Never mind.
Okay. So, I guess once we get out of the main hall, we kind of are set loose, and it's made pretty clear to us that our objective is to get 3 medallions, right? And so Chapter 1 of this game, really, Level 1, if you want to call it that, is mostly exploring the left side of the mansion, top floor, get all 3 medallions, and make it back. And we're not going to go through every objective here, because it's not the shortest game in terms of, like, you know, checklists. But I guess some highlights. I thought it was really funny how there's, like, a pipe with steam, which is one of the main things stopping you from accessing, like, a third of the mansion. As if you couldn't just get past that. I really like that detail.
I just want to quickly fix something. I wrote meet Claire with an A. Let me fix that.
Leon. Leon's gonna melt. He can't do that. Melt.
I mean, he gets past lasers by the time RE4 happens, so I don't know what was going on here. He's got, like, skin issues or something.
He's been an RPD agent for, like, a week by RE4. He knows what he's doing now.
A little more.
2 weeks.
So... I mean, I don't know. How'd you guys feel? I really loved... I think the medallion searching part of this game was my second favorite segment. I really love this opening.
Oh, okay. Like, all the things where you'd have to, like, go hunt for, like, some, like, key pieces like that to, like, make one key to open into the next area, it always felt like, you know, that sounds like such a minor objective.
Yep.
And then it takes, like, hours. And honestly, I just thought that was kind of lame.
I love that.
So
I love that.
also
it felt
kind
like I
of
was just...
You got something to work towards. A big goal.
Yeah, but, like, the working towards it, like, the stuff you're looking for just feels lame.
Kinda.
I'm not getting cool stuff, I'm getting tokens and spark plugs.
Listen,
Not even spark plugs, I'm getting the chest plugs.
That's later. Listen, I think big picture here. I don't think just like the medallion part or anything like that. If you separate it into areas, the mansion, or not the mansion, the police station, only area in this game I liked.
Really?
Yeah.
But you did like it. You did, or at least the medallion.
I did like it.
So
yes.
The medallion section, I thought it's great.
I really liked it. I really liked the
loved
police station part. If I had to put everything on a tier list, this would be S tier, and then everything else would be like sub C tier.
Damn.
Oh, yeah. Like with the police station going forward, I would like to play some more Resident Evil games after playing this one, but I'd like to, if I can, if it exists, I don't even know. I'd like to play ones that are confined to a single building.
Resident Evil 1. For the most part, not entirely, but it's similar.
Wes, what do you mean, damn? They put a Dark Souls swamp in this game.
They did, but we'll get, you know. I do think that the upper RPG is by far the best part of the game. I don't think there's even much debate there, because it's so open, you have so many objectives, and it always feels like you're treading through the same areas, but you always get to a new room where there's a new enemy or a new item.
It feels alive, also. Like, it's constantly evolving.
Very. That's what I love. It's so atmospheric is the word I'd use for the RPG, because it really has that uneasy feeling of no matter where you are, everything else is moving, and that feeling is enhanced after we complete certain objectives. So,
I have an issue with something after we complete certain objectives, but I'll go off on him later.
We're getting close to that. So, I mean, any other thoughts on getting through medallions before we get to the hymn?
I think it's kind of lame that the codes for the medallions are just in the notebook. I feel like that should have been something you have to find.
Well, it's better on Beast Scenario. I do like the puzzle's a little bit better.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
think about
the thing is, as lame as that might be, I feel like I would have been tortured trying to find the codes.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
Oh yeah, there were so many codes in this game that I just brute forced. Like, select a number and then scroll through all of them.
I didn't brute force any. Well, okay, I brute force, like, if I knew, like, 2 digits and I could find the 3rd digit easily, I would just...
I would know 0 digits and just spend, like, an hour going through for, like, 6 shotgun shells.
What rank did you get in this game?
I think my first run, I got, like, a B.
Right, I got...
Wes, you fucking suck.
I'll tell you later. Yeah, did you guys do the puzzle in the welcome Leon sign room?
Yeah, I did.
The West Hall?
Yeah.
That puzzle took me forever because I kept thinking the lockers with the names were part of the puzzle. And fun fact, so there's a locker that says JoJo. Did you catch that?
No. Like JoJo Siwa?
Well, anyway, there's a
JoJo Siwa?
I mean, there's a locker that says JoJo in Resident Evil 2 Remake, and it's not part of that puzzle. And it is in there in the original Resident Evil 2. And I genuinely, it is just blatantly, the developers have said a reference to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and nothing more. They just wrote the name JoJo because they like JoJo.
What? Why?
That is the lamest reference I have ever heard.
It was the 90s, man.
That is no excuse for that shit.
Good things still existed in the 90s.
It's funny. I love it. It's one of my favorite pieces of Resident Evil trivia. It's like, why? But I love it. But it really did make the puzzle harder for me because I kept trying to fit J into every solution.
The red herring.
I didn't struggle with that puzzle at all. I just did it. The only thing I was confused by is on the left desk. I think I tried to do it like left to right. It's right to left. Or reverse. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. But, yeah, I guess any other medallion puzzle hijinks that you guys had struggles with?
I don't believe so.
Oh, I just found the puzzle so easy, probably compared to the average player. You know, I just,
Really?
how that works.
You did actually guess a bunch of them first try.
That's pretty sweet. That's awesome. I solved.
Guess what?
Oh wait, you know what?
I can't even remember.
I solved the first medallion puzzle, but I couldn't read because I'm illiterate, and so I didn't press confirm on it. So I just walked away.
Hunter did that later, where he like did something with the tuner in the lab, and he just like kept not pressing confirm or something. I couldn't remember what it was. You kept backing out after. Oh no, it was the. Okay, never mind. But anyways, one thing that I did notice in this medallion section is that even at this point, you're running back to your item box a lot. And I know before we've already kind of talked about this, so we're not going to rehash it. But I really was surprised how quickly this game hits you with the inventory management woes. Like day one, you're running to try to like put away herbs and gunpowder.
Well, yeah, it's true. That's not a positive.
I don't know what you guys... But I don't know. I just thought it was crazy how quickly they threw you in. This game seems like it's kind of unforgiving for being created for modern audiences. I feel like your average guy who just like buys the newest action game, like who plays Uncharted, right?
As your average guy, if I was on the opposite side of the police station, I was not walking my happy ass back to the box. I just threw out extra items.
I guess like the average gamer, I feel like struggles with this game a little bit. I feel like the modern like average audience, I feel like this game's a little hardcore, honestly. Even if it's not hard, it's hardcore, meaning like it has old school design elements.
Truly the Glover of the modern era.
So true.
Yo, you played Glover?
Yo, I got an idea for next month, you guys.
You wouldn't last an hour in the asylum, though, Tristan.
Kinda unironically, I do kind of want to play Glover, because I have almost no knowledge of what it is outside of an N64 platformer.
It's a platformer? I thought he used an axe. Like...
He's a glove.
Well, you use an axe.
Okay.
So you just lied then. You know two things about Glover.
What's the name? He's got a ball, right?
I don't know. I don't know three things about Glover.
Okay, well, I decided my blatant lies about Glover. I guess we're ready to move to the right side of the police station, where you meet up with whoever you didn't play as at the gate, right?
So there's this funny thing where Leon's looking at the helicopter, and Claire says, Leon, or no, wait, he says, hey!
Yeah.
And Leon does not react, and then she says, Leon! And then he looks over. And that pissed me off on an irrational level, because that's just like my least favorite kind of person. When I say, hey, in a zombie apocalypse, I would look over. I don't care if you're already
thought
busy.
she was talking to somebody else.
I don't care if he's deep in thought. I don't care what's going on.
No, he's not deep in thought. There's no thoughts in Liam. Liam doesn't think, bro. There's no thoughts.
If someone says, hey, I'm looking over, and it pissed me off on like a social cue level of just being like, you dense motherfucker.
I've played so many shittily... so many shittily written video games that it didn't even faze me. It did not register. But I guess you say hi to Claire, but it doesn't mean you can say hi. And it's the only time it happens in the entire game, which is strange because it happens, there's a lot more Claire-Leon interaction in the original Resident Evil 2. That's one
There's
thing
a
that
lot
they
more
changed,
moments where they should meet, but they just aren't there at the same time.
Yeah, that's really the problem, is that times where they should be in the same place at the same time, or at least see something that somebody did, like, gee, I don't know, kill somebody, it should add up.
Is it implied that Mr. X was in the helicopter?
No. So, in the original, I think...
Nah, there's just two of them. You guys didn't catch that.
Okay,
that's an enemy type.
Well, it's not impossible.
That's just an enemy type.
It is, actually. That's kind of the thing. So It's not impossible. I mean, Tyrants...
What the hell are you guys saying?
So, fun fact, did you guys know Mr. X is like not a canon name?
Yeah, I did know that. I just called Mr. X in my shit.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
Mr. X. Listen, this is cooler than Tyrant, let's be real.
Oh, way cooler. And Tyrant's
his name
just...
is Tyrant?
It's not even his name, because tyrants are just
When you kept on saying he's just a tyrant, like, I don't know. I thought that was like canonically what his goals were.
Was that a political statement?
I mean that's kind of what I thought.
Well,
Can't wait for
anyways,
RE3 to introduce the dictator.
I mean, Nemesis is a generic word too. I mean, you could just think he's a rival.
That's true.
Okay. There's a helicopter. In the original RE2, though, I think he gets like dropped in like a pod. You know the head crab pods in Half-Life 2?
Yeah.
None of you guys have played Half-Life 2.
I know of them, though. No, but I know of them.
Yeah, I've never played
he
that
basically
game.
drops in like a head crab pod and like comes out, I think. Pretty sure. Through like the roof. And I think it might be related to the helicopter, but I'm not sure. I don't think it is, actually.
Because my thought was like, there's probably the government or Umbrella or someone pretending to be the RPD, and they're dropping in Mr. X to try and kill any survivors. But
I don't know who sent him. I assume it was Umbrella, but I actually don't know.
Didn't they specifically say they were trying to kill any survivors? Mr. X was trying to kill any survivors, so that there'd be no eyewitnesses.
Mr. X, I'm sorry. I know, Wes, you said you thought he was very scary, but Mr. X is ass at his job. I mean, I did die to him.
Yeah, okay, you know what?
Scenario.
I mean,
you know what? Can I?
You'll just be able to run straight past him.
We're not even
like
technically at
around.
Mr. X yet, but can I just talk
we're
shit
Mr.
about
X.
him?
We're at Mr. X.
Can I just talk shit about him for a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, in the fourth Survivor, there's a part where you're walking down, the first time you get into the police station, you're walking down the hall, and you turn a corner, and he's right there. And I fucking turned the corner, slammed right into his chest like an anime MC bumping into his like love interest tits, and he still missed me! The motherfucker still missed me! He sucks at his job! He's such a cool concept of like a living, breathing enemy in the game, and it's like a 4 out of 10 execution.
No, it's about the threat that
he's not intimidating at all! Shoot him like twice and he's down!
No, he doesn't go down, period.
Yeah, he like kneels down and he's down for like a minute, which is more than enough time to lose him.
That's true, but okay. Did you do the library puzzle while Mr. X was walking?
Which library puzzle?
Did you move
the
any
Jack
of the
one?
Cases before he got there? Did you move any of them?
No. So I think in my first run I did, but in my second run, he was in the library. I just shot him until he kneeled, and then I moved the shit over.
Lame.
Why would I let him walk around? It takes like one magnum shot to get him down.
I never even got the magnum in my young run.
Is the magnum good?
It's the best item in like every Resident Evil game.
But there's not a lot of ammo for it, so it's
I was led astray.
The magnum kills every boss. Is really the point of the magnum in Resident Evil games. You use it to skip bosses.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I love Mr. X. I think he's phenomenal. I think his AI is super smart. Like the way he's always moving around the RPD, looking for you, the footsteps. It's not about how threatening he actually is, because his punches are equivalent to one zombie bite. Can be outran, and if you
I think the zombies were scarier than he was.
I agree.
I agree, but the thing is, Mr. X isn't scary when you see him. He's scary when you don't. Like, he's a constant threat. Like,
except for when you leave the police station, in which case he disappears for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I know. I was always dreading Mr. X before I started playing the game, but by the time I got to the point where he no longer appears, I wished he had been there longer.
The thing I dreaded the most was zombies getting back up, because they got up every time.
You shot them every single time.
I was told in my guided playthrough, make sure these zombies are dead, and then every time they are down, it's, oh, don't worry about them, they're down now, you'll worry about them when they get back up.
This is the point.
So then they
kill everything.
You don't kill everything in the game.
You don't kill everything in the game. There's not enough ammo to kill everything. I mean, technically there might be, but you don't kill everything in the game. That's the point. If it gets down and you can go past it, you go past it. You don't go and wait for him to get back up, because that's what you did every time, and that's what made me crazy.
I killed as much stuff as I could.
To kill him.
I mean, I did too, but I let it stay down when it stayed down. I waited for it to get back up. Because if you don't... Because there's plenty of zombies where you'll go into a room once, and if you knock them down and then leave, you're not going to ever have to deal with them again.
Yeah, true.
You know? I don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, going back to Mr. X, if I could change him in one way, it would be he's on like a 5-minute timer or something. He's just like hanging out somewhere on a timer, not doing anything. And when the timer runs out, he knows your exact location and sprints for you.
Hate the idea.
It's less interesting, yes, but it makes him an actual threat.
I think if they had just made him much stronger and just barely below your run speed, I think he would be...
I think if the fucker could hit you without you just juking him easily...
Well, okay, I'm going to tell you something that's going to make you appreciate Mr. X a whole lot more. So, in the original Resident Evil 2, Mr. X doesn't even appear until the B scenario, as in he's not in the game at all. And he only appears in specific times when you go in specific rooms, and he stops existing as soon as you leave the room.
Yeah, so I knew that. That doesn't make this game better. That makes the previous game worse.
Well, okay, yeah, but it makes it a better remake. Like, it's something that was kind of it's something that is not even that memorable, to be honest, from the original. It's just an enemy you encounter a few times who... He's not... I wouldn't even consider Mr. X one of the iconic elements of the original Resident Evil 2, because, frankly, if you don't even see him until your second playthrough, he's not going to be who you remember from your first time through, right?
Right.
So I think the fact that they took what was kind of a throwaway character almost in the original, like a Jack Krauser in RE4, and turned him into, like, the threat of RE2 Remake is awesome. I think it's the best thing they did.
That is
actually
very... Like I said, Mr. X is great conceptually, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think
the execution's good, too.
I'm talking a lot of mad shit on Mr. X, but, you know, they've got time for Resident Evil 3 Remake. It's building up to it. It's building up to it. Nemesis in original Resident Evil 3 was amazing, so they can just take what they did with Mr. X and do that with Nemesis and Resident Evil 3. I played like an hour of Resident Evil 3, it's ass. So they ruined it. They fumbled so bad.
I mean, you could always go for like whatever his name, the baker in RE7. That's pretty good, right? Isn't that one of the best stalkers?
Yeah, that's basically the same as Mr. X in this game, isn't it?
But just like better executed. I think he's a little scarier. I think he's even like scarier than Mr. X. So that maybe that'll be more up your alley if you ever get to that one.
No, I've played Resident Evil 7. I know.
Wait, you've beaten it?
Yeah.
What Resident Evil games have you played? Because I think we were way off base here.
2 and 7.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. How did I not know that you played Resident Evil 7?
I just don't think it's ever come up.
How did...
Yeah, that's actually...
You only really talk about 4. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, 4 is the best one. That's why I talk about it.
I have the original Resident Evil 4. I just haven't played it yet.
It's the best game ever made, practically. I mean, it's not one of my favorite... It's not one of my top 10 games, but in terms of being a perfect video game, it's pretty damn high. But anyways, what were we talking about, Mr. X? So, I mean, okay, I'll be honest. Mr. X wasn't much of an issue for me. I never struggled with him. I was never even that scared of him, but I just loved the atmosphere, because the RPG already has, like, the greatest atmosphere of any area in a video game ever, and Mr. X adds so much to it.
I just realized we entirely skipped Birkin.
Oh, I mean, I wasn't even there yet. I mean, yeah, let's go ahead. So I guess once you get the 3 medals, right, you go downstairs, so now we have lower RPG, but in between is our first boss fight, right?
Boss fight. Quotation marks.
It's fine. I didn't hate it. I liked it.
It's
but it happened 3 damn times in playthrough A, and seemed to be in playthrough B. There was too much Birkin. There was too much Birkin. There were way too much. That should have been like a one-time thing. Like that. When I saw Birkin, that looked like a shitty one-time boss. And apparently it shows up 5 times.
I thought so too, actually.
Hunter and I have completely separate issues with this boss. I don't mind him showing up a bunch, because at least he changes every time. I just hate the fight, because it's literally just run around the arena and pick up all the ammo, and then just unload on him. They give you, like, 3 flashbangs in the first fight. You can just stun him, shoot him, stun him.
See, I tried to use... I didn't realize most of the ammo was there until I was almost done with the fight, so it was a little more intense trying to, like, manage all my shit. But at the same time, it's not a hard boss, it's not a particularly interesting boss. There's no, like, gimmick, right? I mean, I think there might... He had the thing in a big Steam come out, but it didn't do much for me. I also find it funny that Leanne kind of walked through the scene perfectly fine here, by the way.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he doesn't even get phased by it. He doesn't cover his face, nothing. But yeah, I don't know. This
Or
boss
reacts
is
more
kind
to
of
the
a
rain on the balcony.
he grunts in the rain. But anyways, I think this boss is really good for the story because it's your first hint that this game has a story. And the boss itself.
That was a hint at the game having a story?
It's Birkin.
He just fell off
I mean,
a
he's
ledge
like a
after the boss
villain.
ended.
He's there.
It's established that there's
He
a
just
guy.
looks like a random zombie thing, like somehow
You could confuse him
I
for
don't
like
know.
a tank from Left 4 Dead. Let's be
He died and the tree grew through him and he became a zombie.
Well, okay, we don't realize he's story relevant early, but later on when you hear about this guy, you'll think, oh, that motherfucker. But I will also say, one of the designs that changed, because everything was redesigned for the remake, Birkin looks identical to his 1998 counterpart, and I think that's part of why he looks so outrageously cartoony compared to like every other enemy in this game. Like Birkin.
I don't know. He looks like a tree trunk mixed with a person, mixed with a zombie.
Accurate.
Yeah, I mean, I like his design. He's fine.
I just think he looks a little silly compared
I know.
to most. Most of the enemies, like the zombies, like the gore on the zombies in this game is very grounded.
Yeah.
But Birkin is like an eyeball monster.
Sure. Yeah, I like his third phase the best because he looks like a demon from Doom Eternal.
I love the Birkin. Well, we'll get there. That's the catchphrase of this podcast: is we'll get there. We'll get to it.
We always try to
We'll
go
get to
ahead.
that later.
We always try.
It's more like I'm the police. Like I always feel like I'm unnecessarily restricting us to talk about certain shit. But
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's change stuff up. Birkin Phase 3. What do we like about his design?
we're skipping 2? Okay. Yeah,
No,
sure.
we're not talking about the boss itself. Just his design. We
Okay.
said we like
So,
his design.
Is Birkin 3 at the end of? Oh, Birkin 3 in the lab.
Yeah. He's the one with like.
I thought that was one of two bosses in this game that I thought was okay.
He is my favorite boss in the game. He's the only one I like.
So you do like one boss?
Yes.
I thought Birkin 3 was good. I thought it was like the 100. That's the fight you died at a few times, where the ammo was in the corners. Actually, we're not supposed to talk about the fight, are we?
No.
What fight? Which fight?
No fight. So we go to the basement. Did you guys realize there's a little spot you can use the RPD Stars badge down here?
Yes. In my
Cool.
third
I didn't.
playthrough.
What's the RPD Stars badge? I don't remember that.
Yeah, Hunter, I don't know that you've ever fucking got it.
Wait. The USB port. Did you get the USB port in the box?
Yeah, it's the same item.
Yeah, I'm
Same
asking
item.
Hunter though. But Hunter,
What?
did you get the USB port in the box?
I don't remember, honestly.
He didn't. I don't think he did. I don't think he did. I don't remember where you can get it, to be honest. But I think, do you get it in the stars? No, you can't, because you need it in the stars. It doesn't matter. Anyways, what were we talking about? I don't even remember. Oh yeah, the lower RPD. So the first thing you do down here, right, is you meet Ada Wong, right? Isn't that the first thing that happens here when you go to use a keycard?
Yeah. You get jumped by a dog.
Yeah, and she shoots it. Do you guys
I
like Ada
killed
Wong?
all the dogs. I killed them all.
I
I
like
know
Ada.
you did, and I was jealous.
I like it.
You like
She's
Ada?
cool.
Yeah, I killed them before they got out of their damn cages.
Ada's
Well,
my favorite
at least the
character
ones
in
that
the
you
series.
could kill in cages.
I hate the dogs. I'd rather talk about the dogs than Ada Wong. As much as I love Ada Wong, I hate the fucking dogs. I hate dogs. I hate all dog enemies in video games. I hate them. I hate them.
Yeah,
can't even
I
think
don't
of
know. I feel
examples.
like video games just need to learn from the bad ones of the past. And they
No
need to-
dogs.
Yeah.
No dogs.
No dogs, no water levels, like,
No. Yeah. No.
give it up
poison
on this
swamps.
shit. It shouldn't be a staple in every game and be the worst part of every game.
No ice. No ice levels either. We can just skip those.
No ice levels.
Well, hold on.
Like-
There's a few good ones in there.
That was
you
almost
say?
unintelligible, but I did. That was almost unintelligible.
Anyways, you know that meme of like the boss character when you fight them versus when you unlock them as a playable character.
Yeah.
Did you guys feel like that when you played as Ada for the first time? Also.
No, because I already have played as Ada in other games before, so I know what she's like.
Ada was a boss?
No, but she's like really cool.
No, Ada
and
is a boss
awesome.
bitch. No, Ada is a boss actually. But
Yeah,
just not
Ada is a boss. You're right.
Yeah.
But she's really cool. She's awesome, and then you play as her, and she's lame. But
okay, I don't love the Ada segment, but we'll get there.
dude, speaking of we'll get there, the fucking Claire segment has MJ missions. I'm gonna kill someone.
Dude, it literally is.
Wait, MJ is the little girl, right?
He's confused, but he's right.
He is right. He doesn't know yet. So in the lower RPG, you go to the jail. Where
Oh yeah, give me the lowdown on this guy now.
Who? MJ? It's a MJ?
No,
Who?
the man.
Oh, the guy in the jail?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Yeah, and he was just chilling while like Marvin was dying, and all the police officers were dying. I do know that. Like my man was just like chilling in the
his name is
basement.
Ben.
Like my man had no threats.
It's been days. Were they feeding him?
It's not been that
What's-
long. They probably were. Well, he's a prisoner for a
No,
little
it's
while.
been days, hasn't it? Oh no, he was part of their
well,
group before.
I think it's.
they
I
locked
think
him
it's
up.
been about a.
Oh, you're talking about that guy. I'm talking about the police chief that was just like chilling.
I think it's been about a week, and I think that it didn't go to shit completely if you read some of the files. I think the actual RPD interior was pretty safe, like 90% of the time.
Right, yeah, there's like a journal that says, I think he was part of their group, and then the
Yeah.
police chief locked him up, so that, yeah, he wouldn't need food for that long.
Why did Irons even keep him alive? Honestly, knowing who Irons is, like, didn't he have bigger fish to fry? Honestly,
Honestly, that man looks like the top G.
I mean, I got some choice words about Chief Irons when we get to play through Pete. A couple notes
looked
that he
like-
wrote, maybe.
An upstanding citizen.
I mean, did
He
Irons...
was trying to protect a little girl from the rest. Like, he didn't know who the heck this Claire woman was,
Yeah, wait, 'cause
abducting a child in his police station.
was Irons... Hold on a minute, did he ever...
He brought her to a nursery to keep her safe with no zombies. No zombies in the nursery.
That's true.
Husband.
Until, like,
She
other weird
didn't
stuff where there's randomly
appreciate-
zombies in there suddenly. But, did Irons
Shut
ever
up.
actually kill anyone?
Yes.
Whomst.
I'll get to it.
Okay.
He didn't do it. I don't think he does it on screen. In fairness.
Okay, I
But
thought-
but he very
Because
much.
I might have just completely missed stuff. I thought he was just trying to get the pendant to get the cure for his daughter?
Irons is a little.
My man has a daughter?
Adam, out of curiosity, did you read the files in the Chief's room?
Not all of them, no.
Oh, if you didn't read that one, I got a big surprise for you guys later.
Okay, cool.
Good shit in there.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. So you're in the prison. You find a guy named Ben. He's got the little pass to escape the parking garage, which is your objective. And then in the original game, he stays there up until you're like ready to leave. Like you have to let him out before he gets killed, pretty much. I think. But in RE2 Remake, he gets like 2 sentences out, and then Mr. X puts his hand
Grabs
through the
him.
wall and kills him. It's awesome. I love it. I loved it.
I have conflicting opinions on it. You know, why did he reach his hand through the wall and just kill Ben when he has to kill every witness? Why not just walk through the wall
It's
and kill
true.
Leon as
Why
well?
didn't Mr. X go through walls every time? It is
I wanna
Jeez,
know what my
Sega, what
man
were they
did.
thinking?
Sega. Fuck you, Sega.
What was in my man's journal entries?
Irons? Yeah, you're good. You're gonna get it about.
What about Ben's journal entries?
Ben's journal entry? I think, isn't Ben... was Ben trying to, like, expose shit and then he got locked up? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
think that
Irons
was
caught on to him. And my favorite part about that is when you read the journal entry, it plays an audio recording of it, and then it cuts to the text version, right after you finish the recording.
Just in case you didn't have ears. Or didn't have subtitles enabled. But yeah, I mean, I think Ben dying earlier in this game is good, because it's a good shock moment for people who played the original expecting this to stick around. I've seen people criticize it, thinking like, oh, they just put Ben in here as like a cameo for people of the original. They didn't want to actually give him a character. No, dude. It's awesome. When you kill a character way earlier than expected, it's such a good shock. And it's not Birkin who kills him this time, because Birkin kills him in the original. It's Mr. X. That's a great change. I love it.
Yeah,
I
I still haven't played the original, like we've talked about.
How long was Ben in the original?
I think he stays there until you like pretty much have the electronic parts, if I'm not mistaken. And again, I have not finished RE2 original. I'm just very familiar with it.
Yeah, I haven't played the original, but I did really like that he died early. I thought it was a cool for
You
shock
loved
value.
that he died early.
I loved that he died early. It was probably my favorite part of the game.
I also like how Ada nonchalantly walks up to Leon like, what happened here? You know? Like 0.5 seconds after Ben has been pulverized. Are they not at risk of that happening to them? You know, it doesn't check out at all.
They 100% are, is the thing.
Yeah, I mean, if
But
Mr.
the
X
writers
could be
just
this through the
didn't
wall.
care. Jeez, Sega,
It's
what were they
fine.
thinking?
Resident Evil is corny. That's what I love about it. It's not like Last of Us. It's not like Dead Space. It's cheese.
No, it's
It's
clearly its own
cheese.
thing, but I've also seen things do the thing it's doing better.
I haven't. I have those standards. But yeah, I mean, at this point, our objective is to get the power thingies and to put them in the wall and go get Ben's car because Ben had the car to escape. So then you get to this is kind of like I'd say level 2 is lower RPD and the right side of the mansion or the RPD, right? And I thought lower RPD is honestly pretty lacking. Like it's just dogs, man.
Yeah.
There's not much down here. I
Yeah,
don't care
no.
for it that much.
No.
I mean, there's no puzzles, there's no liquors, there's no zombies. I mean, there's some zombies, but almost none. But, I mean, pretty quickly you open up a shortcut back upstairs. And honestly, this right here for me is the best part of the entire game. When you are upstairs in the RPD for the second time, Mr. X is constantly on you. And by the way, I got it wrong earlier. Mr. X shows up right about now. I got it mixed up because of B scenario, but...
No, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. But I love this part of the game so much because it's open, it's kind of confusing, it's probably some of the most challenging stuff in the game, honestly, and this is not a hard game, so it's not saying much, but I do think this is the hardest part of the game. And I just
You
love...
didn't think this game was hard?
No, I don't think it was hard, but I think it was...
Hardest game I've ever beaten.
Get ready for Dark Souls.
Wait, what part are you talking about being hard?
I think that the hardest part of this game is when you go upstairs after doing the basement and Mr. X is chasing you and you have to do the clock tower or electronic part stuff. I don't think it's hard, but I think not knowing where to go and having Mr. X always on you it's where the game's most exciting. And I felt like the most pressure was on me to do stuff. Let's
only
get something
have
out of the way.
one. I only have one note for this part, and it says, "I stunned Yield Tyrant with the Magnum."
Well, I know you have real experience in this, okay? And I also want to add, as a little flex, I didn't die in this game on my Leon playthrough until, Birkin 2, I think, in the sewers, at the end of the sewers. So I did not find this game hard. I don't want to sound like a little bitch, but I did find it intense, and that's what I liked about it.
I think we got to similar points without dying, because I think I made a note complaining that I got my first death super late in the game and I was going for deathless.
Yeah. I also wanted to be deathless. So yeah, and the only reason I
did
died
not care in the slightest.
I mean, honey, you actually didn't die that many times until late in the game.
Bosses were where I
Oh! My first death was as Ada.
Bruh.
Hunter died as Ada as well.
I'm sorry, but whatever that hacking gun was just not intuitive.
We're almost there. We're so close to that. But I really like, this is my favorite part of the game. Clock Tower, and you got my headphones, sorry. That was weird. Okay. I got like an extremely loud static sound. And now I hear footsteps. Anyways, so like that wasn't a bit. Like I actually
Static could have been me, the footsteps were not.
No, the static was definitely me.
It's Mr.
But,
X.
I don't know.
My headphones are fucked. Actually, maybe it'll be easier if I... Hold on. Yeah, okay.
I completely agree with
So-
you. This is definitely the best part of the game.
Yeah.
And it piqued my interest, and then I was swiftly let down. I meant to start by saying something also. I completely forgot to say this. I meant to say it right at the start of everything. I have a friend where this is one of their favorite games of all time, so it does not help that this game was very overhyped to me. I
see.
I went
What
into this
friend is
expecting a
that?
10 or a 9,
Any
and I didn't
hints?
get a 10 or a 9. It was very overhyped to me because they talk about it a lot. I expected this to be amazing, and I personally did not believe it was amazing. But
I had very high expectations, and they were all met. And slightly
they
exceeded.
were all met? They were all met?
Yeah. Everything I thought was going to be great about this game coming from RE4 was fantastic, except for a couple of nitpicks, though. I've voiced already a couple. I wish Mr. X was harder. I wish the game was harder. I wish the game had more challenge. I wish it was more difficult. I also wish the game was harder. But other than that... Yeah.
Have you considered installing a mod that adds 10 tyrants?
I've seen playthroughs. It's awesome. But I would love to play this game sometime.
10 tyrants still sounds mid.
It doesn't honestly sound that intimidating. That's the thing.
They'd still miss.
Yeah, they do still miss, and they kind of just clump, so... But I mean, as much as I love this part of the game, there's not that much to talk about, right? Because it really just comes down to walk to rooms, find your item, use your item.
You know what? I wish there were more zombies in the police station. Like, this police station was supposed to be the final refuge for the people. Like, and it just doesn't make sense that there's, like, 25 zombies in there. This place should have been packed. We should have had 400 zombies in there.
I would not be hearing this from you while you were playing the game.
Wes, you talk about things that catch you off guard. I think, how that you board up windows on the second floor? They should have had just one zombie, or board up windows on the first floor, sorry. They should have had just one zombie crawl in, like, the third floor window.
like a licker.
Out of nowhere.
Through the window.
That would have been good game design.
Do you guys have any more thoughts on this section before we leave the parking garage?
Let me.
Or I guess get down to
check
the prison.
Some stuff.
Because obviously the prison escape is pretty iconic.
I think when Mr. X first comes in, he should punch himself through a wall, and it should rattle the police station so hard that all your boards fall off the windows. And now zombies can infinitely spawn.
Oh yeah, is Raccoon City just a piece of shit? There's the pamphlet on the second floor to the right, and I swear to God, it says the only two buildings are the police department and the orphanage.
There's way more. It's way bigger. In the original, you get a better sense of scale, I think, of how big the city is. Because you spend more time running around it.
Bruh, how did they fit all this stuff on the PS1?
It's 2 discs.
The
better question is how they do it on onegame.com.
I would have preferred running around the city to fucking Blighttown.
I love Blighttown.
It's a Blighttown.
Yeah,
you'll figure out later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it next time.
You're gonna hate it. So, I guess we get down the electronic parts and shit, right, from the clock tower and all that jazz. There's some easy puzzles, but it's nothing to write home about, honestly. Puzzles in this game are not very hard. I know we've said that a lot of things. The puzzles in this game are really not very hard.
No,
they're
no, there's not a single good one. We might as well skip all the puzzles.
I like the chess riddle, but yeah, we did bring electronic parts, and we do a shitty
puzzle intense.
Oh shit, you guys, hold on, give me 1 second. Jail. Turn my jail. You know what jail is?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any notes for that.
Well, you do a shitty Spider-Man puzzle. It's just you know how in Spider-Man there's a skip button for puzzles? Mm-hmm. Because they knew that nobody likes them at all.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that fucking puzzle. Yeah, fuck that one.
Yeah. It's so stupid. Why, dude? Why do we still have these? In fairness, this was kind of on the earlier end of that trend. Since this game has released, it's gotten so much worse. But yeah, I don't know, man.
What's gotten so much worse?
The shitty little electrical puzzles, man. It's rotating wires. I mean, Bioshock did it first, and that game was always bad. But
dude, Spider-Man 2018 felt like it was outdated with those puzzles, and this came out a year later.
Yeah. I always think of Spider-Man as the benchmark for it, though, because it's the worst. The fact that it lets you skip them, it's so, not confident.
Any mechanic that has the option to be skipped just needed a second round in development.
yeah, for sure. I can't believe they brought all that shit back for the sequel.
Even for cutscenes, I get skipping cutscenes is a convenience thing, but maybe make your cutscenes more engaging. Have you considered that?
Yeah, well, for speedruns, we should always have skippable cutscenes.
Yeah, yes.
Don't ever make your cutscenes unskippable.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Galaxy, they all have been ruined by this.
No, wait, but Sunshine's funny, because you start the speedrun and then you get a 10-minute break.
Galaxy's literally the exact same way.
Wait. There's a 10-minute non-skippable cutscene at the start.
Basically, yeah, there's a cutscene of Mario getting arrested.
I don't know if it's 10 minutes, but it's not short.
Oh my god.
It's not short. Did they actually make
like
mods?
The worst thing ever.
There are mods for Mario Sunshine that I think were like debated. They were like debating if they should use them in the official speedrun because it was so bad. This is so off topic, but
No. I think torture is funny.
okay. You'll love Resident Evil 7.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, I just got jump scared. I looked up how long is the Mario getting arrested cutscene in Mario Sunshine, and fucking Google AI said 92 minutes.
Google AI, what is it?
Yeah, I think it's talking about the Mario movie.
What?
Cool. Did you guys go through the zombie horde, or did you pull the lever and go past Mr. X in the jail?
I pulled the lever and went around him.
Yeah, it's just the easier option. I think everybody does that.
And then, doesn't Mr. X show up if you go around?
He does, yeah.
And then you just walk around.
But if you go through the main place, like the main route with the zombies, he's still at the end anyways. So you just get fucked. It's awesome. I love that detail. But yeah, I like the jail escape. It's pretty short, and I love how it is a little annoying to me, because I did say I love how corny this game is, but it is a little annoying how many times Mr. X comes close to pulverizing the protagonist and then just deliberates a little bit.
He's holding his head! He's holding his head!
And Leon gets held for like...
Or no, wait. He's grabbing him by the
seconds.
neck in this part, right?
Even still.
I think I'm thinking... Yeah, but I think I'm thinking of Nemesis.
Ben didn't even freaking move, dude. Like, he just was instantly gone.
Right.
You know? Leon got to like, hey dude, like, you know? I think he's even like talking, like...
He's making noise.
You know?
Still no thoughts going on up there, but he's...
No. You're not kidding. And then Ada hits him with the truck. And then we get to run around with Ada outside a little bit.
No, wait! You're forgetting the awesome fake out where she hits him with the truck, and the truck starts moving and he's alive, and then it explodes and he's definitely down this time.
I like that Ada had the foresight.
Mr. X is truly an enemy type. He dies like 4 frickin' times.
I do like, though, how she had the foresight not only to have access to this vehicle, to be ready to drive it and start it with the key in, and then also plant explosives and have the detonator on her. It's just the best.
Have we considered that they're all different Mr. X's?
That's what I'm saying.
At least
He's
two
just
of them
an enemy
have to be
type.
different. At least 2 of them have to be different for this to actually make sense. I mean, I know they have the same Mr. X, but, I mean, logic says there has to be at least 2 of them, given what happens in Claire B.
Right.
But, whatever. I have no words for that nonsense.
It also happens in Claire A, doesn't it?
I don't know. I didn't play Claire A, but
I did. I'm pretty sure he still gets ripped.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, no, he does. He does. So it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I like this outdoor section. It's really short. You pretty much just walk into the gun shop and then leave.
Yeah.
But I do like this gun shop.
That gun shop was the biggest letdown ever.
Well, the thing is, it's...
It had like 4 shotgun shells.
Okay, and that
Bro's thinking about the loot.
I mean, the gun shop is literally the first thing that happens in the original Resident Evil 2. So the reason it's in here is to kind of be a fake out, because they're like, oh, they took out the gun shop at the beginning. But it's like, no, they're just saving it for later, you know? Although, there's a twist here. I don't even know if the guy has a daughter. I think he just gets mauled. So I really liked how this part, it does honestly feel a little out of place, but it feels very Last of Us-esque, they try to do here. And I like it. But it is admittedly a little tonally off with the rest of the game.
Yeah, this is like the only part of the story that I actually gave a fuck about. Like, this is the only thing that got my heartstrings a little tugging. And I wish it was used as something more than just Leon to be like, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's like, I don't give a fuck, Leon.
Yeah, Ada, don't you feel so bad for me because of what just happened? Did you see how that affected me? Like...
This is my character motivation. It wasn't clear before, so we're making it clear now.
I'm developing. It's just...
Bro, Leon wants to think he's the baddest bitch.
That's what I love about him, though. He's such a horrible cop, and I love him. Well, he becomes like a killing
you need
machine.
to get over Leon.
I love him. You okay? When
It's
you
time
see
for a
Leon in
breakup.
RE4, when you never do. Well, Ada can share him, but I'm just saying, if you see Leon in RE4, you'll love him. He's so much better in that game. Because in this game, he's like still like incompetent. And by the time you get to that one, not only is he no longer incompetent, he's still like got that naive stupidity to him. It's great.
Listen, the way we've been talking, we all know that us three are like the forefront leading minds in game development and writing. So I think
Yes.
I'll be the judge of whether or not Leon's a good character in Resident Evil 4, and I will be the final say.
Okay, well, we'll pick that next month. I mean...
We don't have time. Blighttown!
Yeah, I mean... You get a little, like, preview of the sewer before they throw you into the thick of it, right? With the alligator.
Yeah. On your way down to the alligator, there's a few, like, dark moments, but it's not dark enough for Leon to get his flashlight.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
just
that's
pissed me off on an irrational level. Can it really
Yeah.
just not be a button? You can make it a button.
It should always be there, or they should just need to be more consistent, because oftentimes it's not consistent how dark it needs to be for Leon to have his flashlight out. And it is a common criticism and a popular mod that people don't like that. And I agree, it's a little...
Yeah, I just want to do the bright mod.
bright mod. Like,
I
max
should have
mod.
Yeah, I
set all my
actually
brightness to
did
max.
play with the brightness at max, just so I could see it a little better.
Dang. Played in HD.
Adam, this is why you didn't like the game. You ruined the experience. The brightness is the whole thing.
That
Yeah,
would have
Mr. X would've been scared if he couldn't
completely
see him.
saved Birkenface 2. I couldn't remember which one was
That
the worst one.
That would have done it. That would have done it. I like
Wait,
the
you
elevator.
had problems with Birkin too?
I don't even remember Birkin 2.
No, Hunter, you had major problems with Birkin 2, buddy.
Yeah, I just one-shotted that guy and was done with him.
I like the alligator. It's very Crash Bandicoot-esque, but it's also very silly.
Oh, I had some
All
mean
over the
things to
place.
say about Birkenface 2, but we'll get to that.
Okay. Do you guys have any thoughts on the alligator? I think I'm just talking about the alligator all day long, but I think I'm a
Man, I wrote Sonic
I
Heroes
think that
reference
Crash
and moved
Bandicoot
on.
thing, like you're supposed to be running away, but I can't see shit of what I'm running towards.
I had this, and you pissed me off when you said this the first time. You're running away from the alligator. You look at where the alligator is biting. You don't look where you're running. If the camera was flipped the other way, it would be worse.
I'm running away from him.
So you want
Not
to see him.
backwards towards him.
Okay, but the threat is behind you,
Yeah,
so you want to see the threat.
it's like Pac-Man.
So you look at the threat.
That one Pac-Man game. Where you're running
Not
away from...
ringing a bell.
No, yeah, from when you're running away from a snowball.
Like Pac-Man World?
Yeah. I don't remember which one it is, though.
Okay, yeah, probably Pac-Man World 2. Thinking.
Anyways, listen, man. I don't give a fuck about your giant alligator. I have two notes. There's Sonic Heroes reference, and then when Leon says chew on that, I wrote shut the fuck up, Leon, and turned the dialogue off.
It was way better than the alligator in Sonic Heroes. It was 10 times better than the alligator in Sonic Heroes. Superior alligator, better game.
Dude, I read Leon's lines better than him.
I like how, so after you get the alligator, you go with Ada through, and then Annette, this is the first time we see or hear from Annette, right?
Mm-hmm.
She just comes out, and she's just, like, nerding, and then she just shoots him and leaves. It's like
Yeah, and
nothing.
after Leon died, I turned voices back on.
Yeah. Well, I guess Ada time, right?
Yeah.
Who's Ada?
Shut up. You guys like Ada? The gameplay, not the character.
Yeah, I like Ada, the character.
I like the red dress segments, but I didn't really
Yeah,
like
I'll
the
bet
other
you
ones.
I'll bet you would. But the gameplay, the Ada 1 gameplay. Did you guys like the Ada 1 gameplay?
Well, I
Resident
mean,
Evil
all of that happened in a red dress, so I'd
So
say
you
it's
know
pretty
when,
fire.
you know that one Meat Canyon video about Markiplier was like, oh... Did you guys notice that the zombies sound
I know
like
the
Markiplier?
voice.
Yeah, the zombies sound like Markiplier in that video.
I have no clue what you're talking about, but I'd be down to watch it during this video.
Okay.
Live reaction now?
No, we're not live reacting to Markiplier.
The crowd scream, and they scream for me.
So I thought Ada's gameplay was just fine.
Fine?
A little too Spider-Man.
Fine!
Verging on good. Okay, the parts where she has a gun and you're in that kind of more open room with the zombies, that's great. I love that. But anytime it was just the hacking stuff, it was okay.
It always goes back to what I think about the MJ sections in Spider-Man, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's not that bad to like take a break or go to a more exciting segment, but when you're stopping what is supposed to be the good stuff for a worse segment, it's really annoying. Like, Ada just plays objectively worse than Leon and Claire.
I don't know.
It's kind of defenseless.
She's got a little bit of a strut to her walk.
She's hotter, yes, but she's not as fun to play.
Well, but... but, I don't know, man.
I just think the Ada Wong segment is truly, like, the epitome of my enjoyment for the game.
Okay, buddy. Bro's not talking about an Ada Wong segment in the game. He's talking about something else.
I'm shocked you managed to beat this segment, Hunter. Did they have accessibility segments to play it with one hand?
You would not believe the degree to which this man could not. He could not understand the hacking mechanic until, even after it was over. Like, the last hacking puzzle was just a nightmare to guide this guy through. It was painful. It was intuitive to me. I thought it wasn't hard.
It was not intuitive, and I'm sorry, but Adam, you need to back me up on this.
You had to scan where the wires are in order to see them. They couldn't have like a spider sense thing where it sends out like a sonar and you can see all the wires or some shit.
Well, it's meant to be like you feel unsafe because you got to walk around slowly with your gun out, or like with your like scanner, and you can't pull out your gun while you do it. It's meant to make you feel like vulnerable.
It didn't.
Okay.
I just killed all the zombies in the segment where there's zombies and scanned.
Dude. Bro had like the 5 times chance crit mod on.
What?
Are there crits in this game? Is that a thing?
Yeah, when the head explodes.
Adam, did you not crit once?
I don't know.
He didn't know it was considered.
It's when the zombies' heads just completely explode.
I only went for headshots, so sometimes their heads exploded, sometimes they didn't.
This game has really good dismemberment.
When their heads exploded, that was a crit.
Okay.
Like, did you know, like, when you can shoot off zombies' arms and legs and like you can literally turn them into like the Black Knight from Monty Python.
Yeah.
Where they wriggle around.
It's really good.
It's so good. It's really good.
That mechanic is the only thing keeping the submachine gun relevant.
Yeah, for real though. But yeah, I guess I didn't mind the Ada stuff. I thought the Mr. X Ada part was really cool. Like, that wasn't hard, but it was intense for sure. Because you don't know where to scan, so you're desperately running around. And there's a part where you have to double back around to scan something by the door, unless you preemptively did it. That was great. I love that part. It's the highlight of the Ada segment. The rest of it, I can live without.
I didn't even remember that part, so it's not...
Damn! I highlighted it in my notes. I think I just like Mr. X more than everybody.
I think I just saw Mr. X and then just kept going.
Ugh, despicable. Well, I will also say I was wrong earlier, because earlier I said I died only at Broken 2. I did forget. I actually did die in the Ada segment during the freaking incinerator. And it's not because it's hard. I couldn't find the starting electrical point in the back corner. I just didn't see it. So I died. But as soon as I found that, it was easy.
Bro died in the incinerator!
I know. Listen, it wasn't hard, but... I mean, if you didn't see it, you were just screwed, right?
Sure, I get it.
I mean, this is... I don't know. Well, Hunter died multiple times, so...
In the incinerator?
No, I only died one time inside the incinerator.
Yeah, you died multiple times in the incinerator.
No, I only died one time in the incinerator.
Maybe because I walked you through step by step what to do, but I'm pretty sure you died twice.
No, I only died one time in the incinerator.
Alright.
Are we going to be here till 9?
Whatever. Yeah, can we just do this for a few minutes? Can we just go back and forth? But, I don't know, that's pretty much the end of the Ada stuff.
Coming from you, Mr. C rank.
That's spoilers. But, yeah, I don't know. I've A-ranked Resident Evil games before. I don't need to take this from you.
Mr. C rank, I'm sorry, but it sounds like you're the worst person in the room.
Yeah, I actually got an S rank on one of my runs, so...
Bullshit, you got an S rank, you freaking liar.
Adam, what the hell are you
No, he's a liar.
No,
He
I
didn't
actually
get an S rank.
did, but to be fair, I cheated.
How did you cheat?
What do you mean you cheated?
When I played Claire for the second time, I did it unassisted, because I couldn't be fucked to do the full thing again.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I mean, I considered doing that for Claire B, just to rush it faster, but it ended up being so easy I didn't need to.
Yeah, I already played Leon A, so I was like, Claire A, I'll just fucking...
Yeah, it's the
Can
same
we talk
thing.
about the police chief yet?
No! That's for Claire B!
We'll do that after the bonus game. I don't know. That's pretty much the start of the real sewers, and the real sewers... My biggest criticism with the real sewers is that they just aren't visually interesting, but the actual layout and gameplay here I think is really good.
Blight Town.
It's not like it's easy. Blighttown's hard.
Blight Town's not hard. Just get the master
It's
key.
annoying.
Just pick the right item, loser.
Yeah, that's cheating. That's not the real way to play Dark Souls, you faker. Blighttown, if you actually go through all of Blighttown is moderately difficult, I think.
I've never gone through all of Blight Town because I'm not stupid.
And you're sitting here. No, okay, this might be comparable to like Bitch Boy Blighttown, yeah. But I didn't think the sewers were hard. I just thought they were like probably the low point of the game. But I still like them. I like the chest riddle, where you got 6 plugs. They're all chess pieces, and it's like just some. You got to go find the other 3, and it really is just like the queen's across from the rook, and the rook and the knight are on the same side, and the bishop's not next to. I don't know. I liked it.
Can I bitch
It was
about the
easy,
chess puzzle
but-
now? I'd like to bitch about the chess puzzle.
Yeah, please go.
Alright, so chess puzzle, really easy. It's literally just a 6-digit code. They basically tell you where everything goes. The hard part's getting the pieces. You have to go to get them. So,
Which is what I'm talking about. It's a lame thing. Like, you just have to go get a few pieces, like, and that's, like, a lame
I
task.
thought chess puzzle
to,
was probably
get to
like
the
the
next
best
area
puzzle
of the
in this
game.
all things considered.
Yeah,
But
it is.
It makes it about the journey.
But the issue with chess puzzle is it's not even an
Not
issue. I'm
destination.
a petty bitch.
Yeah.
It's a 6-digit code, and I remembered the 6-digit code, and so I went to in Leon B. I went to put in the 6-digit code again, and they changed it for second run. Those sons of bitches.
Awesome. All the puzzles are different, except for the locks on everything are for some reason the same.
I don't know why I
Puzzles
expected the
change.
chess puzzle to be the same. Because I put in all the plugs
It's
and then I
way
checked the
harder.
note and I was like, oh fuck, I'm stupid.
The B chess puzzle is way harder. It's still not hard.
No, it's not harder
It is
at
way
all,
harder.
but it is harder.
It's way harder than the original. Yeah, because you don't get the position of any pieces but the pawn. And the original you get the knight. But
I think I still
I
did
don't
it
know,
first
man.
try in second run, but
yeah, well,
it's
I mean, I
literally
think I
just
also got the right
pieces.
solution first, but I had to think about it a little longer. You know.
What's
but,
even after chess puzzle?
I mean, chess puzzle is the end of the sewers, but the in-between's not all that interesting. I mean, the one interesting part of the sewers is that there's not many zombies. You get these big-ass monsters, and the first time, you only really have to kill one of them with your guns, and they are spongy as hell. And then you gotta run past the 3 of them. And that part of the game was kind of frustrating, honestly. I didn't die, but it was just very kind of clunky. It kind of just felt like I was trying to stun these guys and they kept grabbing me and re-grabbing me and re-grabbing me. I did not like that hallway. I hated it, actually.
I either just stunned him with a knife or a grenade, or just took the poison and healed later. It was annoying.
I don't even... does the poison actually hurt you, or does it just make you stop?
I think it just might. I think it might lower you to caution if you're at full. But then from there you just cough.
Right. Well, either way, at the end of that hallway you get the last 2 plugs and you get the flamethrower. I did not like the plug puzzle down there either with the chess pieces. It was just busy work. It wasn't hard.
Yeah.
Like, there's only 3 possible states, really, that it can be in. And if you guess wrong, you just have to walk around a room a little bit. It's just kind of frustrating. I did not like that part either. I mean, maybe I'm being more negative about the sewers now, but it was really just those 2 parts. The very end of the sewers there I didn't like.
I hated the sewers. It was my least favorite area. F tier.
I mean, it is the worst. It is the worst. But it's still fun. I still liked it. It still feels kind of maze-like, and I like how there's a shortcut back to the RPD, if you guys found that.
Yes, that's the elevator, right? With the key?
Yep. It's not very useful at this point, but it's cool that it exists.
It's a quicker way to get to the,
my 100% playthrough.
Yeah, Hunter, you 100%, we know. But it makes it easier to get to the lock with the badge.
Yeah. Yep. That's the main use, I think. I don't know. I mean, it's simpler. It's simpler than the RPD, and that's kind of the disappointment. Is that what's so fantastic about the RPD is that it's very dense, and the sewers are kind of the opposite of that. You really only go through each area maybe once or twice, you know. Mm-hmm. Although I will say, the sewers were much smaller in the original RE2. Like, you know how you switch over to Ada and then you switch back to Leon for part 2 of the sewers? Mm-hmm. That part 2 pretty much doesn't exist in the original RE2. It's pretty much after you play as Ada, it's straight to the train up. So even if I think it's probably the weakest part of the game, I do like that they added it. Imagine how short the game would feel without that.
But imagine how much better it would be if we spent more time at the police station, or maybe even got some Tyrant stuff in the city. I would rather that than sewer stuff.
I agree. Tyrant in the city, or even Tyrant in the sewers, would have been better than just sewers. But I do think... I think RPD was exhausted. I do think this is one of the best... I mean, ultimately what it comes down to is that when you're making a remake, you don't just want to add, you want to improve the parts that sucked. Mm-hmm. And what sucks about the original Resident Evil 2 is that the sewers are over in a second. So, and the lab was too long, is really what happened. The ratio of lab to sewer was way off. It was like 3-to-1, when in the remake, I think it ends up being more like, I don't know, 1-to-1 pretty much, right? Maybe 1.5-to-1? I don't know.
RPD to sewers to lab feels like 3-1-1, and that still feels imbalanced to me.
I would say maybe 2-1-1 on my B scenario, but 3-1-1 on my first one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I get it, but the fact that the RPG is so great makes me not feel bad about that.
Yeah, I've got some more stuff to add on that exact opinion when we do final scores.
I would say if the sewers are the worst area, this is Resident Evil 2's greatest sin. It's Birkin 2.
I don't. What is Birkin 2 like? I don't even remember him.
It's the shipping container where it goes.
Right. I was kind of mean to him. So I wrote.
Oh, it's a terrible boss.
Birkin Phase 2 is some of the worst boss design ever. That was my first note there. And then I followed it up with, I beat him first try, it's not hard, it's just bad. It's so
easy to kill yourself, though.
Birkin in the sewers is actually the worst part of the game, straight up, no hold.
You just stun him, walk over, press the button, and you do that twice, and he's dead. What?
Yeah, what? But the thing is, stunning him...
But it's bad.
Yeah, stunning him, if you don't have the items to stun him, which they give you, like, I think one stun grenade in there, he'll do this move where he roars, and if you okay, here's the thing. If you're out in the open trying to lure him, right, and you had just pitched the switch to make the crate start coming over to hit him, and he roars and charges, and he's about to grab you, you can't do anything. Because you can't do anything fast enough to stun him, he's gonna grab you, and you get fucked. So... it happened to me like 3 times. I died once up to this point, and then I died like 3 or 4 times to this boss. I hated this boss. And listen, I don't think it's one of the worst bosses I've ever played, but I think it's bad.
I mean, I had moments where he was like right by me on the button, and the crate was coming back. I just ran into the crate. He followed me, did like a large wind-up attack. He can't turn around on a dime, so I just walked back.
I'm sorry. I can't. It frustrated. When I was watching Hunter play, we even tried doing stun grenades. It feels random whether he's going to get you or not, or if he's going to charge, or if he's going to like do some big wind-up attack. Because he homes onto you when he does his grab move. So you can't evade. That's one of the problems with the boss design in really all Resident Evil games. And they tried to fix this in the 3 remake of all fucking games that they fix a problem. It's the 3 remake, where they added that dodge button, which technically was a thing in the original, but it was terrible in the original. It was like almost frame-perfect input. And Resident Evil needs a quick movement option. And I get it goes against the whole like sluggish, awkward movement, but when there's bosses, and the whole point is you need to dodge a boss attack, and the solution is to run away from the boss and hope you don't get hit. But half the time you will. I hate that. It's so bad, honestly. I don't like the boss design in any Resident Evil games. I think the bosses have always been the worst part of these games, and this is no exception. But this fucking boss is the worst. It's just the worst. It sucks. I hate it.
How can they fix that, though?
Add a dodge button like an RE3 Remake. People actually kind of like the bosses in RE3 Remake, I think. Honestly.
I think.
I don't know about that one. Did you play RE3 Remake?
No, I didn't, but listen.
No, I'm just curious. I was just curious.
Hold on. Listen, I'm very familiar with the concepts in RE3 Remake. My point with RE3 Remake is that I know people hate the depiction of Nemesis, but I think people actually enjoy the fighting mechanics in RE3 Remake, is what I'm saying. Like, I think people actually kind of enjoy the combat. Compared to RE2 Remake, I think what they changed in RE3 Remake was actually new. I think that's the case.
That's a fair assessment. I would say the bosses in RE3 Remake are actually worse than 2, except for, the first Nemesis fight where he has a flamethrower, but, other than that, I'd say they're all worse.
Damn, okay, well, it can't be worse than Birkin 2. Birkin 2 is straight.
There's a fight in RE3 Remake where you get, trip mine ammo only for that fight, and you have to use it to kill the boss, and if you run out of trip mine ammo, then he has, a ton of durability, and you just gotta whittle him down, slowly but surely.
See, I hear so much shit about RE3 Remake that says worst remake of all time. I bet I would love that game. It sounds so up my alley, dude. And it's just because I'm not familiar with the original enough. I mean, I am very familiar, but I don't love it, personally. So I won't be offended if they cut stuff.
That's
if they
fair.
remade one of my favorite games, I would be offended. But I don't have any personal connection to RE3, so... But, yeah. Any other thoughts on Birkin 2, the worst thing ever?
I think... So this kind of goes back to Birkin 1 as well. I think instead of having ammo in all the arenas, add, a default attack option. Just so, I don't know how you would even balance it in a resource management game where you need a certain amount of ammo.
They did back in the day. It worked fine in RE4 the way they did it, honestly. I don't know if I agree with the breakable knife. But okay, the breakable knife makes sense when it's a defense item. This whole, the knife isn't for attacking, it's for defending thing, that wasn't a thing until RE1 Remake. That wasn't a thing in the original Resident Evil 2, to my knowledge. So... the knife was just, purely an attack item, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I don't... Yeah. It seems kind of like you can't have your cake and eat it, too, with the knife being defense, but also being a permanent attack, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough one to solve.
But it sounds like they solved it in RE4. What did they do there?
That's just because... Well, in RE4, it's breakable knife, but you can keep fixing it, and it's really hard to break unless you rely on it constantly. So, maybe they should have done that. Maybe they should have done that.
I don't know. I don't think Leon should be able to fix his knife. My man does not have a metalworking degree of some sort.
Well, he doesn't fix it. The merchant does. But there's no merchant. There's no characters in RE2, so therein lies the problem. Maybe they could have had some convenient knife forging machine in the STARS office or something that cost, 1 green and 1 red herb or something. I don't know.
Why would there be an
herb-powered knife machine? You don't have one of those?
There's already unbreakable knives in the game.
Yeah. There's infinite knives in the game, yeah.
Why not have every character have, a secret optional unbreakable knife they can get access to if you, find an area in the RPD where you need to sacrifice a large gunpowder for it or something.
I mean, yeah, I guess trading ammo for a permanent knife could be an interesting idea. I just feel everybody
but ammo
would do
to
it.
An extent, if you're out for a while, that just makes it so you can't shoot stuff, and if you can't shoot stuff, you don't shoot stuff. So you'll recover later. That's not that big of a setback for that big of a game.
It really is.
So, therefore, you have a bad idea.
Okay. Well, they did it back in the day. That's what my point is, that it was still... Resource management in the original Resident Evil classics on PS1 were still great. And they had an infinite knife, so it's possible. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Also, fun fact, the knife's damage in this game depends on your FPS.
Really?
It is... I think it is, way more damage on 30 FPS. Huge difference. I'm pretty sure it's a thing. Just a cool little thing. It's a great PC port. Capcom makes great PC ports, so I don't... That's just, the one quirk with RE2 on PC. Yep. Well, I guess if you guys are ready for the lab, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't play that part.
Hmm?
I didn't play that part.
You did.
No,
my credits rolled early.
Okay. Adam, you were gonna say something?
No, I'm thinking about the lab.
Okay.
I'm just pondering.
You got some lab trauma?
Before we get there...
I'm over here with, like, vitriol in my heart thinking about the area and what could have been, but yeah.
I thought the lab was perfectly good and great, even. But there's a little cutscene where Ada gives Leon a little kiss, and she's like, do you trust me? He's like, do you trust me? But do you trust me back? And they kind of go back and forth a couple times, and then... But Ada's still, like, hurt, right?
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
Riz, dude.
I didn't like that part because, you know, Leon's not really a self-insert for me, so, you know, it just kind of didn't work with my head.
I really just didn't feel represented by Leon.
Really? I don't feel represented by Leon, I just love him.
Bro, you need to hop off the Leon.
You don't get it, bro.
I personally think Claire should have been a 6'1" male with brown hair.
You'll love Resident Evil. Actually, you'll love like every other Resident Evil game, pretty much. I mean, pretty much all of them have a male protagonist with brown hair. At least like the ones with two protagonists do. But anyways, I don't know. I like the cutscenes. I like the story.
I don't.
Sorry,
I had to sneeze.
What's the... Oh, you sneezed? Okay, cool.
I also screamed, I don't like the story.
Okay. I think it's much better in Claire's route, though. I don't think Leon has it as well.
Yo, can we talk about my man's story yet?
No!
So, the lab. The lab is basically like... It's like the RPG, but if you stretched it out and it was much smaller to begin with, is how I would describe it. That sound about right?
Yeah, it's also fairly linear.
Yeah, it's pretty linear. I mean, it's weird. The way the lab works is that you kind of get a bubble at the entrance of, like, rooms. And then there's a long line, and then there's a kind of a triangle, right? So there's the first path you came from, and there's another one, and another one. And I thought, okay, all these are going to be approximately equal in, like, length, right? Nope. So you do the first one, and it takes you, like, 3 minutes, and then pretty much the entire rest of the time you're in the lab, you're in, like, one of 3 rooms at the end there.
Mm-hmm.
And the objective basically is there's a room full of these plant monsters that keep coming back, no matter how many times you kill them or whatever. And there's an ID chip, or like a security chip. It's like a Metal Gear Solid game, where you keep getting higher levels of ID card to get through doors.
I did like the plant area, aesthetically. Reminded me sort of Metroid Prime.
I love all the aesthetics. Yes, yeah, it's very Metroid Prime. And I love how high-tech and over-the-top the main over-the-air hall is. It's so unrealistic and insane that I love it. Like, it implies that Umbrella must be, like, the most powerful entity ever
feels
to build that.
This is gonna... We just said it feels Metroid Prime-y. This feels very Resident Evil-y, which I know.
I mean, this is like the most like classic Resident Evil area ever. Like, because the end of every Resident Evil game tends to be the worst part. And I think what makes me like the lab more than maybe you guys is that the lab is such a good final area comparatively to the rest of the game. When you think of like, okay, RE4, the island is like 5 times worse than every other part of the game. RE2 Remake, hell of a lot better than the sewers the lab is. Like, you know, it kind of ends on like a not low note. It's nice to have in a Resident Evil game that doesn't end on a low note.
Yeah, but it's also a hell of a lot worse than the RPG.
It's not as good as the RPG, but it's still good. I like how there's still some like kind of shortcut Dark Souls-y, like your little light Metroidvania design here, where you get codes, go back to like a central room, which is the one with the solution. I mean, our main goal here is to make a solution that'll kill these plant monsters, right? So you have to get the 2, and then you gotta go get the solution, and to get the solution, you gotta find a code elsewhere, and then you gotta freeze the solution, and it's like you gotta do like this little, like, you know, it's like a little mouse going through your maze back and forth and back and forth.
I found 0 codes.
Sometimes
I spent an hour brute forcing all the codes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
There's like a lot of combinations.
Yeah. I know.
What is wrong with you? Do you know how easy it was? Okay, well, hold on.
I wanted to prove to myself I could do it.
The first code is literally written. walk out the door. Where you
I know it's on the ladder right outside. I figured that out right eventually.
Like, is he blind?
I never went out there before I started trying codes.
What's wrong with you? What if this game was like half of other games ever made, and it just wouldn't allow the correct code until you found it?
I would have found out when I did all the combinations.
You would have found that out. But I will say, the second code that you have to find, Hunter, I helped you find it. But it's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Adam, did you ever find out where the second code is?
Yeah, it's on the bottom of the stupid trophy.
I had to Google it. I don't know why I didn't think to examine the trophy, because every useless item in a Resident Evil game means that you have to, But still, man, that was so unintuitive for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb.
There's a note that says it's there, isn't it?
Oh, I didn't see that. I probably picked it up and then pressed the B button.
It might be in the second run exclusively, because I think
possibly.
there's something like some scientist was asking if they knew where his trophy was. Something. It's important.
I didn't read it.
I skimmed them.
But I do like a little further down here. You get this little tuner box to solve a lot of these like electrical puzzles. It's so simple, but I do actually really like that too.
I do.
I feel like it's a lot better. What it accomplishes over a Spider-Man puzzle, and I assume that the audience just knows what I mean by that by now.
Yeah.
Substitute Spider-Man for shitty. I love Spider-Man, by the way. It's like a 9 out of 10 game. But I do think that the tuner puzzle is a lot better because it kind of isn't that obvious at first. Because okay, the tuner fits perfectly in this thing. It has to go here. But it doesn't work. So you examine it, and you see it's just, like, I don't know, it feels like you're figuring it out on your own. It doesn't feel like it's immediately told you what the objective is, and you just gotta do the steps. It's like, okay, I know this is gonna fit here somehow, but what am I gonna do on this thing? So I thought that was good. I didn't think it was hard, or even remotely, but I like the tuner puzzles.
Right, I thought it was, it's a huge upgrade from the Spider-Man puzzle, because, like, let's compare that frequency puzzle to the Spider-Man frequency puzzles. You just get, like, map segments in Spider-Man. In this, turning on the lights feels so important for no reason other than just you can see now.
And the top, the light box near the entrance is totally optional too.
Mm-hmm. In fact, that's kind of my one complaint with that puzzle is I wish, obviously in the second run you get it like right at the start, but I wish in the first one you also got it sooner so I could have light.
I do like that you can remember that was there and go back for it. But I also, on the second run, I was like, thank God, because I'm not going to even bother if you're going to make me run all the way back.
Also, it's the lab, because why would I go back there?
I mean, like, okay, one little detail I did notice, this game has some really great environmental storytelling, which we haven't really touched on much, with letters and blood trails and certain zombies being in certain places. And one of my favorite instances of that is when you first get into the lab at the front desk, you can find a checklist of logins, and the last guy never checks out. But you can find his body hidden in the first light panel when he falls out of his little safety chamber.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think he's zombified. He's just dead. And you can find a little letter from him saying like, "What the fuck is going on? Like, I thought I was coming to the hospital or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. You can see how people came through and when exactly things went to shit in different parts of Raccoon City. It's really good.
But the issue was, I only found that on my second run because they give you the tuner right at the start.
Fair enough. Such a good detail though, and there's a fair amount of that in this game. Fair amount. The thing is though, I will say, almost none in the sewers. So, although, and we didn't touch on this before, but the VHS tapes, they give a little bit more lore here about Operation Nest Wrecker. And I do like how, I don't really want to go in a full deep dive on the lore for this game, honestly, because I just don't care enough. I don't know if you guys do, but I do like how you kind of find remnants from every perspective, because, it's Leon, it's Claire, but it's also Hunk in the Fourth Survivor, which is an extra mode in this game, where you play as a guy who came in to kind of be the cleanup crew. And I do like how you find, bodies of his crew, VHS tapes of their, police recordings. I don't know. Mm-hmm. This game has a lot of good environmental storytelling, I feel like.
Yeah, this game made me get a VHS player.
Did it?
What's even next?
kinda
How is it? Well, speaking of VHSs, there's the VHS of. Well, what are you swatting at?
Oh, I was gonna say something. I was gonna say real quick. It reminds me of Half-Life 1. If you play the expansions of Half-Life 1, you see all the other characters or like stuff they did afterwards or before. That's all I was gonna say. It was just like Half-Life.
Well, one of the VHSs in Nest shows you the SWAT agents or whoever they are killing Birkin, and they find out that they were supposed to take him alive, and they check, and he's dead. He's like dead. And then a future VHS shows that he's not, in fact, dead.
Yeah.
And he injects himself with G. So how? What? What?
So, well, what happened... I know a little bit. So basically, Hunk is like the GOAT, right? He's like the super soldier.
Mm-hmm.
And he was sent in with his group, and he's famous for always being the last one alive, right? They send him on missions, and he's always the last one to live. Some people think Hunk stands for Human Unit Never Killed, which is really corny if true, but it's never been confirmed, so thank God. At least I don't think it has been. And so one of the videos you see is that somebody thinks they killed Birkin, and Hunk takes responsibility for it because he cares about his guys. And then I think later you find out, because Birkin got the G, I don't think they might not have known that Birkin got the G. Because I think and then one of the things the tapes show as well is how the G virus spreads. I don't know if you caught this, where the tube breaks and the rats start licking it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got in the water supply. I don't know. It's just cool.
So
but the game never spells this out for you directly. That's what I mean.
Well, my first hint of that was the clip of them taking some of the virus, and then Leon goes, "That must be how it spread."
Well, listen. Some games are way worse than this. I think it does enough show don't tell. It does enough.
I do agree, but I just think that was a funny example.
Okay, yeah. I'll give you that. So, I guess we never really finished the lab, but I do like how when you got the ID card, Mr. X just comes back one last time. I did not see it coming. It scared the crap out of me.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah, but he doesn't leave the room. I wish he chased you. It's such a non-issue.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
That would be my full change with Mr. X.
You just gotta run past him after he swipes at you.
I was talking about...
And he's on his 20-second reset.
I was talking about the timer idea with Mr. X. How about this? He's on a timer, he can go into every room, and you have to stun him in order for him to go back to his timer.
I don't know, man. Well, so you're saying he would continue to chase you relentlessly?
He would always know your location, and he can go into any room, but you have to knock him down in order for him to reset to his timer.
I don't know.
Yeah, but you need a special gun that can only be,
no, that is gimmicky, no.
Well, I don't know. I like the stealth element of walking slowly and not shooting at enemies because you don't want to attract Mr. X. I think that's really cool if that's a thing. But in fairness, Mr. X is never really aggressive enough for that to come across too clearly in gameplay and execution.
Wait, can he hear gunshots and he'll come towards you?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Oh, he's like super smart. Yeah, and what's really cool about Mr. X is that he's actually genuinely patrolling the RPD even when he's way off screen. Like when you're on like the west side of the police station and he's on the far east, he really is going room to room. I think that's so cool. But maybe I probably think that's way cooler than everybody else.
No, I think.
So I guess,
like I said, idea-wise, that's cool. I just wish it was executed better.
I still think the execution's really good. It's just not hard enough. And if we put this game on hardcore, maybe it'll be the best thing ever made.
I'm not gonna do it.
But yeah, I don't.
I didn't like the puzzles that much.
I do think he is faster and more aggressive on hardcore, though. I have heard that is the case. He felt more aggressive on B scenario, but I don't think that. I think that was just placebo because he showed up a lot earlier.
Right.
But I guess Birkin 3, right?
Yeah.
Spongy boss.
He's so he's the one boss I actually kind of liked design wise, but he has the exact same
best boss in the game, but it's Birkin for a third time.
Right. It's also the exact same issue that every other version of Birkin had, where you just run around, grab all the ammo, and then just wail on him. I wish there was a little more, but this one does it the best, I guess.
I do like how the ammo is in 4 corners, so there's always that pressure of, oh, I'm going to go get ammo, but he's going to corner me if I do. And I also like how his attacks are more situational in this boss, because like he'll pick up tanks and you can shoot his eyes. You're going to wait to shoot. You maybe want to leave one eye left on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's easy to hit. Or maybe his back eye, right?
Right.
Well, he's picking up the tank so it gets blown up, or how he pulls off the big one at the end and you have to get off to the sides. It uses the arena a little bit more. It's more interesting. It doesn't... And honestly, if you look at the original Resident Evil games on PS1, every single boss is...
Yeah, I would assume.
They're terrible.
But I just wish, like you say, it uses the arena a little more. I wish, like, they introduce him doing that part where he lifts up the entire pillar. I wish he was doing that throughout the entire fight instead of just at the end.
Yeah. I agree. I wish they had gone further with it. I still don't think the boss is great, but I think this boss is decent. I would say it's decent. But after this, you pretty much... I mean, you get some fun cutscenes with Leon, right? Ada... This frustrates me. So, Ada gets, you know... Annette is like, hey, don't trust Ada, by the way, because she's not FBI, which is true. And then Leon goes to leave with Ada, and he's like, Ada, are you not FBI? And she's like, yep. They have this weird little conflict where it seems like they're going to go somewhere with it, but it kind of ends up being nothing because Ada just dies, like, immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But what really...
But Ada doesn't die.
I know, and I'm getting there. What really frustrates me is that they do a fake-out death with Ada, and I'm okay with fake-out deaths. I would not mind if Ada fake died here and appeared at the end of the game. What upsets me is that we've had like 15 Resident Evil games and we still don't know how she lived. There's been inconsistent answers. We've been told that like there was like some grappling gun that she had or something. We've been some people say it's not canon because in the original Resident Evil 2, Claire B, Leon A was primarily the canon route. In which case, Ada actually never fell in that version. But, I don't know, man. It just pisses me off. It pisses me off.
All of the stuff in this section that pissed me off is all logistical stuff. Like, how did Ada survive? Ada hacks the wristband, I assume it's like 4 or 5 monitor now?
It is 1998. Like, I know it's a little bit sci-fi, but... It's not that sci-fi.
But he couldn't hack the wristband monitors before. He needed the wristband, and now he can hack it.
Wait, how did Ada get in here? Because Ada gave the wristband to Leon. Was she just sitting there hacking away at the door the whole time? Well, I guess Leon left the door open. But even still.
But he still had to hack the one for the elevator.
She still had to hack it. Right. Maybe the elevator was smarter than every other wristband reader or something. I got nothing. Then she does it in like half a second too. But anyways, yeah. After this, any other thoughts on the Ada shit? I mean, I didn't love this part, honestly.
No.
Well, escape sequence. It's good. I like it. It's very simple, but I like it. It's easy.
Yeah.
No phrase has been tainted more for me than I got nothing.
I've got nothing.
That's such an in-joke that... Never mind. That is such
it's just a statement.
It is an ultra
It's just a
joke.
statement.
No, but you're referencing an inside joke.
No one needs to get it.
Okay. Leave it in.
It's just a statement.
It's just a statement. Okay, well... I do like that Mr. X shows up one more time in our chase here. I didn't find him intimidating at all at this point, though, because honestly, when you get to the escape sequence of any video game that has one, it's so painfully easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got an achievement for finishing it above, like, 6 minutes or something.
Yeah, me too. Which apparently is, like, a pretty rare achievement. At least on
Really?
PlayStation it was, which is, like, who's struggling with this?
Yeah, let me check Steam. Keep going.
Well, to be fair, I think that time also included killing the boss.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people might wait for the rocket launcher, which I guess we'll just get to that. The final boss in Leon's playthrough is Mr. X, but half burned. It's kind of a frustrating boss, honestly. I don't like this boss very much.
It was awful.
I don't think it's the worst, but I don't like it very much.
Oh, it's definitely
it has a lot of
worst.
that Birkin. It has that Birkin 2 problem of the grab shit that insta-kills, and you can't reliably dodge it. Unless you have stuns, which you might not. I mean, I just didn't like this boss. I didn't die to it. I didn't struggle with it.
I never dodged it without a stun, and I died like 3 times to that specifically.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I thought this boss was actually okay when I played it, but when I watched Hunter play it, I realized how much bullshit I lucked out on not having to deal with. Because I had a lot of ammo at this point, so I just kind of gunned this guy down and then shot him with a rocket launcher, and it was over super quick. Hunter was super limited on ammo, so... I mean, you can tell him. You were struggling.
Bosses in this game were hard for me.
I know that. But I don't know, it's fine. I don't like that Ada throws the rocket launcher because it's stupid that she did.
Wait, Ada threw the rocket launcher? I just thought the rocket launcher like fell out of the sky.
Well, it's better than that.
Like all of a sudden there was just a rocket launcher with no explanation.
According to Steam, 29% of players have the Beat Super Tyrant in 5 minutes.
It was like 15 on PlayStation or something ridiculous.
Damn!
Yeah, like, and I think, to be fair, like, only like 30% beat Leon's or something like that. But even still, it's like, how are you guys? I don't know, man. Well, like, I think it's like a ludicrously low percent beat both in A and B scenario. It's like almost none. But this game sold well. That's why, and it's kind of hardcore, meaning it's not hard, but it's outdated. People don't have the tolerance for inventory management anymore. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think, and then, you know, the ending here, it's so convenient. It's so convenient. I hate it.
They're on the train too!
Like oh
What's
my
they're
god.
on the train too! Resident Evil 2
Ugh.
sold 14.2 million copies, by the way.
The remake?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I knew it was really good. I mean, I think the game deserves it. But even still, I don't like this ending. The ending is not very good. At least Leon A ending. It's not good. I guess it's not meant to be, though. It's meant to be a cliffhanger, but it's that he gets on the train and Claire and Sherry are already there. And he doesn't even know who Sherry is. So if you only played Leon A, you're going to think, what did I just see there at the end? What was that? Like, I don't know. Didn't like
She grew a child.
She grew a child. Like a homunculus. And then there's not even, like, credits music. Which is like a staple. There's not even like upbeat credits music. It's just like, you know, like the droning orchestral bullshit. So the first time I got that ending, I was like, that was lame. But I don't know.
Yeah,
any thoughts on the ending?
For the ending, I wrote that was the most 6 out of 10 BS I've ever seen.
We're a hater.
The ending was 6 out of 10, actually. I agree with that. That final boss to ending combination was super weak. And I don't think Resident Evil 4 has a phenomenal ending either, but it's miles better than that. But yeah, I don't know. What were your final times? I'm curious.
So my first run was 6 hours and 30 minutes.
I did not take 6 hours and 30 minutes. Hunter, how long did you take?
I think it was something over 7 hours, like 7.
Yeah.
7 closer to 8.
Now, I want to point out, I guided
That's
you.
just my memory.
I guided you through the whole thing. So at no point did you go looking for things. I took like 10.5 hours, you guys.
Really?
Yeah.
You suck.
Well, I was taking my time. I wanted to find everything. I wanted to like get every item and like kill everything I could. I wanted to do
You didn't even get the Meg.
What?
You didn't get the Meg.
I didn't know, and I was devastated. But I wanted
You wanted to get every...
I wanted to do everything that I could, but I couldn't do everything because I sucked. And I refused to use a walkthrough at any point.
Wait, okay, I know we're gonna get to second run after the bonus game, but what was your second run time?
I want to save that.
Okay.
It's a lot better, though. It's a lot
0
better.
hours,
It's a lot
0
better.
minutes.
I was just curious.
Actually, apparently I forgot to put in my notes.
No!
But I do have it approximately memorized.
Okay.
Okay. Well, unless you have any other thoughts. Oh, also, I saved like 50 times in my first playthrough.
I saved less times than
I had 39 saves.
Damn, you guys.
I think I
Damn.
had 40-some.
Well, at least I think I only died like 4 times. So, I've got that going for me.
I think me too. I didn't count deaths.
yeah. I didn't. I mean, it's kind of weird that it doesn't tell you. I think it tells you in most RE games. But anyways, also this game, by the way, lowers your rank depending on how many times you save, like, severely.
Oh.
So
that explains why I got a B rank.
Yeah. But unless there's anything else to say about Leon A, I guess we're ready for a bonus game.
It's an interesting way that the game works.
It is, yeah.
Just don't save a lot. Like, that's more important than not dying, is not
That's
saving.
what I
no
did in my
punishment for death,
second run.
I don't think there's any punishment for death in terms of ring. I don't think so. Other than wasted time, of course. And also the risk of course, having to go back to when you last saved.
Right.
So, I guess, it wasn't my bonus game, so...
Yeah, what was the bonus game again?
Superhot.
It was Superhot. I liked it. It was good.
Oh, guys, I forgot we had a bonus game this month.
True. You picked it, bro.
I didn't like it as much as VR.
I didn't either. It was really good, though. I still really liked it.
It was good.
What platforms did you play on? Did you play on PC?
PC.
How did you play on PC?
Superhot?
Yeah.
I played on Switch.
No, you didn't. You played on PC. I played on Switch.
It's on Switch.
I played a little bit on PC, though, because I wanted to see how much better it controlled, which it was fine both. It's a game where the reaction literally does not matter at all.
Right.
So it's perfectly fine on console. Well, the first impression I had of this game is I've played VR. I really like the VR game, and I kind of thought I knew they were different games level design wise, but I thought like everything else was going to be the same, like the story, and that's not really the case. One thing I like about Superhot on PC, the original, is that it more clearly is telling a story than the VR game.
Yeah. It actually has story beats, whereas VR, from what I remember, has this like abstract sticky notes, and then it ends.
It has shock moments, which were freaking removed post-release, by the way. They took out like half of the freaking story moments from the VR game, like a couple years ago, if you weren't aware.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, because they thought that the self-harm stuff was like offensive, but it's still in the original, so whatever. And they weren't even like apologetic. They were like, we should have never had it in. I think that's ridiculous, personally. It's like core to the game. The whole point of the game is that you get controlled into, not caring about your body, and it's about uploading your mind, right? I thought it was great.
Same.
The story. I love the story. I love the story in Superhot. I think it's probably my favorite part of the game, actually.
That is not. I like the gameplay way more than the story.
I
like the gameplay,
I think
too.
the gameplay didn't affect me and Wes as much because VR is just so much better.
So much better. The gameplay is really good, though. It is probably, I would say, the most innovative shooter I've played in years, like, honestly, in terms of original ideas. But I do think that...
I wouldn't really agree with that. Like, I
Yes,
think
you do.
Resident Evil 2 was actually way more innovative.
No, you agree. You agree that it's the most innovative.
No, Resident Evil 2 is way more of an innovative shooter.
No, you agree it's the most innovative shooter you've played.
I literally played Resident Evil 2 after it, so it was the most innovative shooter I played in
There
years.
you said it, okay.
And then I played Resident Evil 2.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as you felt that way at one point. I don't know. I thought like the meta-narrative, especially the ending, which I genuinely didn't see coming. I've always heard that tagline, and not to spoil anything, but I genuinely thought it was just a meme. I didn't realize that it was part of the story, that there's this meta indoctrination into getting people to play Superhot. I thought that's really cool.
What do you guys think about the title screen? Just out of curiosity.
I like the OS. I like it. There's not a lot to find, though.
No, I was kind of just confused. Listen, I'm a Linux user.
I was actually confused by it as well, because one time it like locked you out and said you needed a password, and I just kept retrying it, and then it was like, sure, you're back.
Listen, man, yeah, I'm a Linux user. The thing you see when you launch Superhot is what I have to deal with when I'm trying to launch an exe file.
Fergus got PTSD. I don't know. I like the meta computer stuff. I wish they had it in the VR game, but I don't care that much for what you can... I mean, you can find some mini games and some little tech demos hidden, But otherwise, I don't know. I didn't find it super entertaining. I didn't care much for all the extra modes they give you and stuff. It's just kind of like nice set dressing.
And much like in VR, the sword continues to be the best weapon.
Yeah. Well, shotgun's kind of the worst somehow. Opposite of every video game.
How is it the worst?
Because when you shoot it, it like progresses time a lot, I feel like. And it's so unpredictable. Like, I don't know. I always would rather have like a honestly, like a melee, like a long melee.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Or a pistol. I don't know. I think the gameplay's really good. I mean, okay, obviously, there's no way you haven't heard of Superhot. But in case anyone is listening who doesn't know what Superhot is, it's a shooter that takes place inside of a like fake computer where you shoot red guys with guns and attack them with bullets, but time only moves when you move or shoot. So you can take your time and plan out. And you kind of feel like John Wick. Because once you beat a level, you show a little replay of what you did if it happened in real time. And it wants you to make you feel like, you could pull off the craziest stuff ever in an FPS if you could just freeze and think about it,
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really cool concept. And it is a game jam game as well, by the way.
Yeah, that's really
impressive. And a Kickstarter game. And fun fact, I think one of the reasons the VR games resonated with us so much more compared to the, actual Superhot, at least in terms of gameplay, is that they were actually developed at the same time, and I didn't realize that. I always thought VR was an afterthought, but it's not. The game was designed for VR. So,
yeah, as far as the real time stuff after you beat a level, I have two little things with that I didn't like. One is me being dumb. The other is me just not liking something. So the first one, I didn't realize that that's what that was until like halfway through the game. It just didn't occur to me. I just thought it was showing like my gameplay again or something. I don't know. The other thing is
like a demo.
My movements look a lot more janky when they're in real time.
Yes, I was hoping you would say that. It looks so floaty and weird.
It doesn't look good, but it looks like what I would think it would look like in real time.
I would love like a Superhot mod for like a really excellent like shooter, like a Doom Eternal Superhot mod, but like it was like 10 times the end.
Imagine if they did that in VR, where like after you complete a level, you can see yourself moving.
Oh yeah, they should do that. That'd be way better.
Yeah.
It's probably a motion sickness thing, honestly.
Oh yeah, it would probably be basically impossible. But what I'm thinking is like do a third person camera of your like out of body experience where you can see.
Yeah. I like it. Good. Superhot mind control VR. Do that.
See, I told you, we are the forefront experts on game development.
We are. I know more than these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
sometimes, I just do honestly feel like it.
Sometimes it really does feel like
if they just...
I personally would have just coded Mr. X to be better.
I would never have designed a boss like Burger 2. I promise you that. But, I don't know, man. Superhot, I like quite a bit, but I really like the ending, honestly. I think the ending was my favorite part.
My favorite part was
the ending was hard.
My favorite part was...
Oh, yeah, the last level was kind of hard.
Oh, yeah, the last mission was...
The game's pretty easy, but the ending is kind of tough.
My favorite part of the game was the sword-only challenge that I did afterwards. That was really fun.
Oh, I saw that, but I didn't play any of those. Honestly, because I don't care much for the gameplay, I thought it was great gameplay, but I just have had enough of Superhot in my lifetime, because I've played too much of the VR game. I've had enough. I can't be impressed by Superhot gameplay on a flat screen TV anymore. It's just not possible.
Yeah, Sword Only just wasn't what I was expecting, and it surprised me in a really good way, because I was expecting every enemy would have a sword, and you're going to be swapping around quickly.
Oh.
And what it is you get a sword, and everyone else just has normal weapons, but you can't pick up any other weapons. You can only get the one sword that you start with.
Yeah.
It's
awesome. Is it
awesome.
True? Can you cut bullets in the normal game?
Yes, I got an achievement for it. Yes, you can.
Let's go, dude. I tried to do it once or twice, and I was too lazy. Too terrified to try.
I got the achievement for doing it the one time, but I tried it at least 30 times.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy on the VR game.
Yeah. You can just bunt them
really
in the VR game and just hold your sword up and it goes through it.
If they just married like meta computer narrative of the original Superhot with the VR game, I think that would be so much better.
Yeah.
Honestly. I mean, again, I can't stress enough. I do like the more psychedelic stuff they do in this game too, with like flash. Oh my gosh, I love the glow of the computer screen. You know that? Like when you see the white text on the black screen or white squares, and they have that like glow like an old monitor. It's such a cool effect. I love that effect. It looks so cool.
Did you guys find any secrets?
I did a little bit in the text, like the computer, but I didn't find anything in levels.
I was going through a level and it said I found a secret and I'm allowed to ask a question. I didn't write down what any of that was, but that's
weird.
That's what I found.
I don't have any recollection of this. I might have seen something, but I don't remember.
Hang on, let me double check this.
I don't remember finding a secret.
All hidden terminals. Apparently there's a lot of them. Okay. And it just tells you like stuff is a simulation, don't do this.
Makes sense.
You can control time ? That's one of the terminals. You can control time ? I
don't know, man. I don't.
Yeah, but the thing is, you really can't control time.
No, you really can't. You're kind of constrained.
It's still moving.
The one I got was in Corridor, I believe.
I don't remember any of these levels. Is it the one with like you're just walking down a straight line and you got to turn around and there's guys behind you?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. I did like how there's like cool symbolism there. I'm pretty sure some of the statues they had were like dogs. Right if they were talking about how you're a dog or a monkey or something.
There's a part where you can if you hug the left wall, you'll clip through the wall, and I was just doing that anyways on accident.
Weird. I didn't think it'd be that kind of secret. I kind of dig it though. I love obscure, like really cryptic secrets in games. I don't like it in Hotline Miami 1 though. Fuck that game.
Hotline Miami 1 is awesome!
The secrets in Hotline Miami 1 are terrible. The game is decent, but the secrets are so bad.
Don't even.
I will even.
It's actually the most innovative shooter I played.
Okay, it kind of is though.
I played a lot of innovative shooters. You guys should hear.
It's true. Like Modern Warfare 1, very innovative. When I played that game, I thought I've never seen something like this before.
I mean, low-key.
I don't know, man.
I hadn't played a shooter like that before.
I mean, I guess, is there anything else to say about the gameplay of Superhot?
No.
Nope. Hunter, anything?
It was a fun game. It was a very short game.
Yeah, very short. It's like 2 hours, right?
The story didn't really have a big impact on me.
I wouldn't...
But, when you shot yourself, I really feel like they just shouldn't have that type of stuff in video games.
They should remove that.
You see, when you shot yourself, that's what I wanted out of Claire in Resident Evil 2. I really felt represented.
Bro, why are you such a hater?
Dude, I didn't like Claire either, but...
I liked Claire more than Leon, but that's
just because you were fawning for Ada the whole time. I heard you.
But I like the ending where they tell you to tell people to play Superhot. That was really smart. And also, there's like a whole...
You're not supposed to spoil that. Cool.
But I like the meta narrative. They have like a whole website about posting shit about Superhot and spreading Superhot, and you genuinely can get like discounts on like the other Superhot games for like involving yourself, and like literally it's like you become like a Superhot Jehovah's Witness. It's awesome. Like it's such a cool idea. I've never heard of anyone doing this before, but there's genuinely, and like I don't know, man, I dig it. And again, I wouldn't say the story made
Congress should make that illegal.
I wouldn't say the story was like whoa. It was more like the story took what I thought was cool gameplay and provided a really cool explanation for it.
Yeah, it wasn't like profound or anything. It was just like
no.
I like this. I like this
You don't
thing.
think the story was profound?
No.
Also, the credits music is just insanely good. Like, I don't know if you guys felt the same way, but I've been listening to it. It's super catchy. It's like a Polish song called like Pavlov's Dogs or something. It's really, and if you read the
I was not really into it. For some reason, this guy...
You didn't like it?
I'll check it out later. I was listening to the Guilty Gear Strive OST while I played.
Fair enough. The soundtracks, like the soundtrack to this game, I don't give a shit about, but that song's great, and the lyrics are really great too because they're exactly like. If you look up the lyrics to the song in English, it's like you'd think it was written for this game, but apparently it's a classic. I don't know. It was really cool. I like the use of that song. and I like the story, and I think the gameplay's pretty good, and I like this game. You think we're ready for ratings?
Ratings? Sure. I mean, there's honestly not that much to say here.
Yeah.
It was good.
Well, what's your rating?
What's my rating?
Yeah, I wanted to know.
8.5 out of 10.
Reasonable.
I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
See, I wrote 7.5, and I felt that it might have been a little critical. But it just felt kind of basic. But the thing is, the more I think about how much that was influenced by me liking the VR game more and being exposed to this idea by the same people, mind you, they still came up with the idea. It's still the most innovative shooter I've played in years. So honestly, I think I'd give it about an 8 out of 10 as well.
Yeah, you're right. I'd give it a 10 because it is the most innovative shooter I've played in years, and you should all play it.
Yeah, it's a 10, honestly. I would recommend it to all my friends.
Mm-hmm. Hey guys, can I get Superhot 2 for free now?
I mean, we have it. We can just...
I already got it for free, bitches!
Yeah. I mean, I would be down to do Superhot 2, immediately next month, honestly, too, though, because, I kind of want to see where it goes.
I don't think we should do a bonus game next month. I think we should do that for November. Or no, technically for December.
Fair enough. Well, I guess if we're done with Superhot, we've got... we can do a little bit of... We can talk a little bit about Claire. Although, honestly, I don't have a ton to say.
Me neither.
I gotta be honest.
The only real note I have for Claire is all capitals. The Claire story has fucking MJ missions. Ugh.
Well, okay. I guess the thing with Claire is that... And I'm gonna just conflate what it means to play as Claire and what it means to be a B scenario in the same thing, because they hardly change. Really, all B scenario changes is it changes some enemy locations and behaviors, it changes some item locations, it changes where you start the game, and it changes if you see the true final boss. That is literally it. Mm-hmm. And the original Resident Evil 2, like I already said, it changes way more. But I'm going to conflate the two here. So in Claire, you start right outside the station, and you meet Leon the one time that he met Claire. So it feels like, okay, I'm meeting Leon quite a bit later. Then, I'm starting this run much later into Leon's than Leon started. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then you start, and within a couple of minutes, you're in the RPD, and you're like, hold on, I'm doing the same exact stuff I just did. And that continues for a long time. Except Marvin's dead. So
yeah, he's already dead.
That's literally the only thing.
That was really sad, but why didn't Marvin shoot himself? He had the gun and he's like, leave me, and points it at Leon. And he just doesn't shoot himself.
Weak. I like Marvin.
Literally.
My favorite part about...
I hate Marvin. He's a bad guy.
My favorite part about Claire's story...
His favorite part.
My favorite part about Claire's story is the freaking child dialogue. So keep in mind, when I played as Claire, I did Claire first run. And the child, when first Birkin encounter, it's like, you need help, not me. He's right behind you.
I do not like Claire and
He's
Sherry.
right behind you?
She literally says that.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw up. I mean, I do not like Claire.
That's the greatest ever.
I don't like Claire and Sherry in this game. I looked at some videos of the cutscenes in the original Claire in RE2 1998, and it's way better. I don't know what they did. And this is something I watched in the Sphere Hunter review. She's the expert on all things Resident Evil. Mm. She talked about how Claire almost seems annoyed with Sherry. And once I heard her say that, and I looked back on these cutscenes, oh my god, she's right.
Yeah.
Claire constantly seems like she's inconvenienced having to help this small child survive the zombie apocalypse. Claire, or Sherry was like, will you help me find my mom? And Claire waits 10 seconds. Of course.
Yeah, I'll help. Sure.
What's up with that, man?
When Sherry gets infected, and her mom's like, I can't save her, it's too late. And then Claire's like, no, come on, we have to. And she's like, all right, bring her to my lab. I have a cure.
Nobody likes Sherry, dude. And also, I like how Claire, when Annette, who is Sherry's mom, if that's not clear by now, is like, yeah, sorry, I don't think I'm going to be able to cure the kid. Claire's reaction isn't to be like, it's going to be okay, come with me, we're going to make sure. She's going to be like, fuck fuck you, Sherry's mom. You're a fucking terrible parent. What is wrong with... It's like, what are you doing? There's a kid right there. What are you doing? What, huh? Honestly, Claire seems like a terrible parent. I mean, and I get that she's like a college kid and like she's surviving and she's not experienced. She's just here for Chris. But, oh my god, she's a dick to Sherry.
Oh, yeah!
It was weird.
I don't know. I'm waiting for Chris to come back.
He's like in every other game.
I'm waiting for the 5th survivor.
Chris is in like every other numbered Resident Evil, literally, without fail.
Hunter canonically is just...
Wait, what?
Huh?
What's a Hunter?
Chris is a character? I thought Chris was freaking dead.
No, he's in every other game, dude. He just left. He's out of here.
I was gonna say Hunter canonically started a Claire playthrough and is just sitting in the RPD waiting for Chris to come back.
I think Claire would do that. I don't know, man.
So for my second run, I did it as Leon.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're supposed to get the shotgun or the Magnum. I didn't. I did the entire Leon stuff pistol only.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was interesting. But my favorite part about Leon's second run is canonically he never meets Marvin, and that will never not be funny.
Yeah. He doesn't, like, he just didn't get any kind of welcome. Like, he still thinks it's, like, his first day, and someone's gonna be somewhere. Right? For all he knows.
Right. Oh, I should also technically add, as Leon in second run, you get 2 pistols, so...
Oh, yeah, everyone gets 2 pistols in second run. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
There's second run makes some weird changes, and I think the biggest change in second run, aside from the ending, is Mr. X will appear as soon as you go to the start of the room, or walk past it, or grab the battery. It's weird. So here's the thing: you might do that right away and get screwed.
I did.
But if you just don't go to the start of the room, yeah, if you exactly. I mean, and you can even see Mr. X up there on the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just didn't do that, which intuitively you wouldn't, you'll never have to deal with him. Until, the third medallion, which is not that big of a deal. It's pretty close to when he shows up in the original playthrough, right?
I didn't know what room he was even in. I just didn't go there on accident.
Yeah. I mean, you have to eventually, but it takes a while. I mean, you can do, like, 80% of the RPD without going up there. And I guess, one other thing I noticed in the B scenario, it tends to, like... It makes some really small changes that you probably didn't even notice until I say them. So, I don't know, did you notice that there was a liquor way earlier in the B scenario?
Yeah, it's in, like, the first left hall, isn't it? Or am I...
That is where the first liquor was in the original RE2. So that is like an OG RE2 jump scare. So that's cool. I do like that they did that. Because it's something you think they took out, and they're like, no, we're saving it. I get it. I like it. But then they do, like, really random stuff. Like in the morgue, you know when you gotta pull that guy out and get the key?
Mm-hmm. He gets up early. He gets up early.
It's so random. Do you know how much someone had to think about doing that? Like, it's so funny to me. I don't know. There's so many little details like that. And I did like... There are some cool ones, though. Like, not all of them are completely mindless. Like in the kennel, there are no dogs. Because the lickers ate all the dogs, and all the dogs have been replaced by lickers.
Yeah! That was great.
I like that.
Oh, I just remembered something because I was reading through my notes.
Yeah.
So in your second run, when you first got to Nest and you went into the room on the left, what was all in that room? Was there any important items?
In my first run or second run?
Second run. Like when you're dropping,
so
when you guys dropped Sherry off in that room. When you guys dropped Sherry off in there, was there anything in there?
So here's the thing. My first run, I went in that room.
Oh, you dropped Sherry off?
Yeah. And that's what I'm going to say. When we first played as Leon, I went in that room. There's only supplies, and my second one was Claire, and I dropped off Sherry and maybe grabbed 1 or 2 things. I didn't think about it. So was there something different?
So I never grabbed a shotgun. As Leon, when I went in that room, there was a shotgun in there.
Whoa! I think there's probably a. I wonder if that's a B change, or if it's just if you didn't grab it.
I
wonder,
don't know, but yeah, I had a shotgun for the end of the game because there was just a shotgun.
I think it's a B change. I'm guessing it's a B change. But that's interesting. Well, I will say the lab is the point of no return, I think. So they might have done that as like a failsafe.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's weird. I dig it, though. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, like you said earlier, they had the tuner earlier in the lab. So it's not like the B run doesn't change anything. It's still interesting. Like, it keeps it up with the surprises. Earlier Mr. X is pretty interesting. No dogs is nice. Like, each area, I would say, and like, Sewer has the harder chess puzzle. Each area has at least something going on, except for the Ada segment, which has absolutely nothing. But I don't know. It was fine. As for Claire's story, though, I do think Claire actually does have a better story than Leon.
I agree. I also kind of like Claire's weapons
I
more
am
than
still
Leon's.
waiting on that big man.
Wait. So, Claire first meets Sherry in the Birkin fight, like you said. He's right behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Kill me, bro. Well, she thinks, like, she's still saying Birkin's her dad and it's coming for her. By the way, little detail here. In the original RE2, Sherry would either be being chased by Birkin or Mr. X, depending on if it was A or B scenario. Just kind of an interesting little change. In this one, they chose to make it Birkin in the beginning, and then Mr. X comes and gets her later, which is kind of cool, honestly. But yeah, Sherry's segment doesn't come up till a bit later, but as soon as you get to the parking garage, Chief Irons is like, give me the girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is not at all what it was in the original.
Oh.
Like, yeah. But I was just saying, in the original, Chief Irons is introduced in his office, and he's not introduced as an evil guy. He's just introduced as a little bit off. Like, he still talks to Claire, and he's, like, friendly, but something about him is a little weird. He has, like, a dead body in his room that he doesn't really acknowledge, and he's kind of weird, you know? And I like that way more than just having a comically evil police chief from the start.
Right.
Although I will say that the notes kind of portray him as very
detail.
friendly and likable, so at least you still get a little bit of that, like, you know, two-facedness.
Sure, I mean, I didn't really see him as evil until... Honestly,
Oh, really?
honestly, until he took Sherry.
Oh, well, that's the first time we see him, right?
Well, oh yeah, I guess you're saying the notes are nice. Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Oh, yeah, you're saying based on the notes you thought the police chief. I hear you. Yeah. I guess that's true. So I guess maybe if you read the notes and you were paying attention, then I guess maybe you would still get that vibe of like, oh, he's a nice guy, and then it turns out. Okay, I feel you know what, I like the game more now. you failed your mission.
No, that's fine. I never said I didn't like the game. I just said it was disappointing.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, you liked it less than I did, that's for sure. So Sherry leaves and she drops her little...
I thought you freaking hated the game, Adam.
I just said I think I had the
he's-
most negative opinion out of the three of us, but I didn't hate
Yes.
it.
But yeah, Sherry drops her little amulet, and now the gist is that Chief Irons wants the amulet. Chief Irons' goal is that he wanted the pendant Sherry had,
Mhm.
and she lost it when she was leaving, right? So he needs to talk to Claire. And Claire's the electronic puzzle as well, but it's in a different spot. Do we really need to get into all the gameplay differences?
No.
Because it really is the same execution, right?
No.
Yeah, okay.
So you need to answer my question.
I really
Why
just
did he
care
want
about
the pendant? Because I thought I knew, but apparently I
Oh,
don't.
you didn't realize? Oh, he wanted the pendant because it was used at the very end to get the antivirus.
No, I
But
knew
I
that,
don't
but
know
why
why
did he
he
want
wanted
it?
I assume he just wanted the antivirus for himself or to sell it or something, or he wanted the fame. I don't know why he wanted it, but he wanted it. Or maybe he wanted to prevent it from getting out. That could be it too.
Because you see,
Because he was benefiting from the G
I
virus?
wasn't paying super close attention to like cutscenes or notes or anything like that. So when I saw the girl on the table in like the orphanage, I assumed like
Yeah.
it was his daughter that was infected or something, and he wanted the antivirus
Nah.
for her.
No, she is like the dead body from the original game that was in his office.
Okay.
She was like, okay, you don't know how freaky this is. I guess it's finally time. So, if you couldn't tell by his office,
I've been waiting.
the chief is quite a fan of taxidermy.
Oh, that instantly filled in the
and,
blanks.
Well, he has a lot of like stuffed animals and stuff, and even in the original RE2, he's a big fan of taxidermy. But you can find a note on his table, and let me just find it here because I definitely wrote it down. So he writes.
Bro, someone's gonna find your note and you're gonna get arrested.
So he found this paper. It's literally just on his desk or something, and it says it's a log of taxidermies, and the first one is like something fairly not insane. I don't think it's like, you know, the blood and the guts, and oh, I love taxidermy. And then number 2, quote: he was cutting open the stomach of a tiger, and he nearly came when he made the incision. That's what he wrote. I nearly came cutting open a tiger.
You know what?
Yeah,
Honesty is key.
dude's true to himself.
I
Can't fault him for
but
that.
I read that, and I was like, there's no way I just read that text in a Resident Evil game, because there's no way I just read that. So I googled it to make sure I like it, because it was CAME. I wasn't. Maybe I'm misinterpreting. Nope, no, he just meant it. But then to answer your question, did he kill anybody? The last entry is for a.
Or what was it supposed to be?
The last entry is for a 22-year-old pale-skinned pig, which is not a pig. It's the girl. So he definitely killed somebody. Yeah. But yeah, I read that, and I was just like, I just couldn't believe that I read that. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. I laughed so hard, though. But yeah, I mean, that's that. Up until this point, though, I mean, outside of the cutscenes, there's been almost no gameplay difference for Claire. Especially on an A run, right? Leon A, Claire A, gameplay up until this point is literally identical.
Yeah. Bar for bar, exactly.
Outside of her weapons. Yeah. And then I do like, though, I much prefer to Ada segment, the Sherry segment in the orphanage. And fun fact, totally new. In the original game, Sherry pretty much does what Ada does, but with no hacking tool, and Ada had no hacking tool in the original. So it was just like, basic Resident Evil gameplay with no puzzles. So it's way better. I mean, this is huge. And I think the orphanage, honestly, is one of my favorite parts of the game.
I like the aesthetic, but I would have liked if there was a, like, more of a sense of a tragedy really happening there. Because you got, like, the journals from the kids, but that's not enough for me. I want a baby corpse.
I get that. I mean, honestly, I think the only reason they didn't is because Resident Evil games are already really heavily censored in Japan. I can see them not wanting to go there. But yeah, I do kind of agree. I mean, I do think there's still good environmental storytelling there, though, because, I mean, you hear the story. I don't know if you read the journal about a kid who got adopted, and the kids were all bummed because he wouldn't write back, and then later he came off with, like, a burned-off face or something. Or, like, it's really sad when you see the letters from the kids that are written in, like, really shitty English.
Yeah, I wrote one down. May I read my note verbatim?
Please.
So let me just find this shit. So here's my note. Dumbass diary kid can't spell for shit. Help me, stupid ass.
Wow.
Adam, why are you so freaking mean?
This kid died, bro. He's dead. He's, like, experimented on, probably. And, bro, can you talk about how creepy that doll is, too, using the puzzle? What is with that thing? In what world is that acceptable as a children's toy?
Oh, right.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Looking.
This one?
I mean, it still looks better than YouTube's, but still. I mean, I don't know.
Hey, you can't be saying shit like that if you want to YouTube's.
It's true. I'm not gonna get a sweaty guy with blue headphones. But, I don't know, man. I liked it. I liked the stealth gameplay, even if it was really easy. It was still intense. I dig it. It was good storytelling. And I like how, like, Ada is just frickin' here. She has nothing to do with Annette, nothing to do with Birkin. Sherry is very, like, ingrained in this plot more than Ada is. So her role in the story feels way better. And I also liked how Birkin gets irons in the end as well. I don't know. I just liked it all. It all tied together. It was a nice little bow.
I thought
it felt like this was the more deliberately written story than Leon's.
Yeah, I thought it was very funny that Birkin teleports into the orphanage, though. I thought it was hilarious. How did he get there,
bro? He was in the basement.
I actually died laughing.
He came from the bottom entrance to the
No, yeah, I know how he got there, but
He Oh.
But even still.
I thought you were saying he seriously teleported.
No, he just appeared.
Yeah.
I also wrote.
It still has the worst story.
I also wrote, okay, the MJ mission, funnily enough, was much better than the Spider-Man MJ missions.
It's true. It's true. It is better than the MJ ones, and I really do. I can't stress enough how much I hate it. I really hate that Mr. X dies here. Not only because I like him as an implementer, because it ruins the story. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make any sense that Mr. X dies here. It just doesn't.
It would be, really, really, really cool if you played Claire A and had never touched the game again.
I mean, yes. I would love if they... Okay, so, tangent. I've been making little comparisons to the RE2 original throughout this. Do you want me to just run through and list off a bunch of changes, good and bad, and mostly bad?
Run it.
Because, okay, it now feels like a good time.
It's either now or in the parking lot later.
I played like 5 minutes of the original RE1 and I couldn't figure out the controls, so I know they're not fun.
Yes. So, first of all, the original is tank controls. So, fixed camera angles and tank controls. But that's less design and more product at the time. I mean, sure, you can make tons of arguments like, oh, the limited camera angle is what makes the horror, and the tank controls make it so intense. And I'd agree, but RE2 replicates it in its own way. Because you can't see something behind you when you're facing forward, and you still got those kind of awkward controls where you can't aim, and, when you move, aiming is less accurate, you have to stand still and wait for the cursor to shrink. I think RE2 does enough to make up for all the benefits that those things brought, in my opinion. But there's some changes I don't like. Let's see. Okay, in the original, Leon and Claire interacted way more often. I already brought this up a little bit earlier, but they even had little radios. So, like, you would hear dialogue from Claire and Leon. And in the final version of the game, it feels so unearned at the end. That Leon and Claire are all buddy-buddy.
Yeah.
And all this jazz, and, like, action that they went through something together. They didn't. They interacted, like, 3 times.
I mean, hey, they're gonna adopt Carrie.
They act like that's even feasible, and they've literally maybe spoken 4 sentences to each other. Like, it's crazy. They got rid of...
I'm sorry, you don't know about love, I'm sorry.
Maybe I don't. I only... Bro. I'm just saying, they got rid of, like, half the enemies in this game. Not half, but there's less enemy variety in the RE2 remake. Like, and the enemy designs are less unique. Like, the moss creatures were not humanoid in the original. They were, like, weird fucking plants. And they look cartoony and terrible, but I love them. And, there were giant spiders in the sewer and stuff. Why did there no spiders? Was it a budget thing? Was it a realism thing? I don't know, man. Like I said before, the Chief Irons changes I don't think are very good, even if you did bring me around on them a little bit.
There's
no
giant
zapping
spiders.
system.
And there was giant roaches. Oh, those were kind of in this one, too.
Yeah. Well, the zapping system is one of the biggest losses. And it kind of ties back into why the second run in RE2 Remake kind of blows ass. I mean, the thing is, in the original RE2, when you did something in a first playthrough, it would actually, and oftentimes, be reflected in the second playthrough. So, for example, right, obviously everything with Marvin that's in the remake was there, but there were guns that if you grabbed a certain gun, wouldn't be there in the next run, right? So you had to be strategic. Am I going to need this for Leon, or am I going to need this more for Claire? Especially on repeat playthroughs when you know this is going to happen, right? The changes with Mr. X being the final boss and Birkin being the final boss were not dependent on Leon and Claire. It was whichever who went after, which makes sense, because then Mr. X doesn't die twice, right? Mr. X is killed by whoever goes second, because he's not even in the first playthrough. It makes complete sense, and honestly, I hate that they changed that, because it broke the story. It literally just broke the story. The remake of RE2 has a broken, dysfunctional, impossible story, and that is always in 5 places at once. Characters die 3 times.
She just grinding.
It's broken, man. It's broken.
I just want to point out quickly, I looked up enemies in Resident Evil 2, and I like that there's zombies and then zombie Marvin.
Yeah.
Marvin's his own man.
I don't know, man. And also, there's like more references to RE1 in the original, and I understand why they changed that. It's because everyone who played Resident Evil 2 back in the day, a lot of them played Resident Evil 1. It was a PS1 launch title. But the RE1 remake came out in 2002. It was like almost 20 years old at this point, right? So it made sense, right, that they didn't reference RE1 so much. Chris is just kind of this guy who Hunter thinks died. In the original game, he's given way more of a role. The game literally ends, the true ending of the original RE2 is Claire saying, like, it's time to go find Chris. And in this game, they're like, we should get a parrot.
I mean, you could also do the Doom Eternal /64 thing where they just pack it in with the game.
Retroactive. I mean, they should have, honestly. They should have. Yeah, and I don't like the credits music. The original credits music was, like, badass guitar, and now it's, like, moody. I still like the new credits music, but it's not as good as the OG. And then a lot of things are moved around, and I don't like how they're moved around. Like, you know, I talked about how part of the appeal of a remake is how things are a little bit different in ways you don't expect. And that's good. But I also feel like a lot of the things they moved to worse places. Like, the thing with the gun shop, it's a nice breather in the middle of the game, but like we said before, it feels kind of forced. When it's at the very beginning of the game, and it's like the first impression of a normal person, it's like, the first thing you see in Resident Evil 2, the original, is a normal human being, and they're immediately killed. In Resident Evil 2, it seems kind of unbelievable in the remake, I mean. I don't know, man. I don't like as much finding this one random guy who happens to be fine and alive. And we happen to walk in on him when he dies. I preferred it when it was like we see the beginning of the apocalypse,
Right.
more so. Which I know it wasn't the beginning, but I don't know, man. I just don't like a lot of the things they moved. I don't like a lot of the things they removed. I don't like a lot of the things they changed. I think everything they added was fantastic. That is ultimately my thought on the remake.
But what about the true final boss?
Yeah, I mean, can we talk about the last, how Claire gets an extra fight with Birkin? I actually think that's the best boss in the game.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
It's dynamic. Because I like how he gets up on the walls, and he's up on the train, and you got a new weapon to use for the first time in the fight, which that's always fun. Like, I don't like when they introduce whole new mechanics, like a Sonic Frontiers final boss, but when we do like a, overpowered existing thing you already had, that's awesome. Everybody loves that.
Yeah.
And besides, it was more the cinematic final boss, which we have 2 of now, I guess. But so I'm actually clear. So you did Leon B. When did you get the chain gun in Leon B to fight the final boss?
Well, that's the funny part, Cat. You don't.
You don't? Oh, wow.
I pistoled that motherfucker.
It's just way easier on Claire B, I guess, then.
Yeah, that might be why I had such a negative experience with it. I hated the true final boss, at least.
Really?
Well, you don't...
I thought it was more of a cutscene. I thought I had absolutely no problem with it. I just stood there and
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the reasons why I didn't like it is... But,
it's not very good.
I do really like that in Leon B, you fight Birkin 3, and then you get on the train, and then you go straight to Birkin 5.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't do 4. The thing is, in Claire, it's too much Birkin. 3 Birkin fights consecutively with almost nothing in between, by the way. That's terrible. I'm sorry, it was too much. I will also add, though, I did like the escape sequence with Claire a lot more than Leon's. I did like how you had to do a little bit of that. Like, the moss monsters were more aggressive, right?
I didn't notice if they were more aggressive, but I liked that you had to hold them off while Sherry went to the other room.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, you had to wait on Sherry, and I did like that a lot more. I wish Leon had more of that. I wish there was a part with Leon where you had to, like, maybe crank a door open as Mr. X is walking towards you, or something like that, and you had to, like, time it right, so you go right through it before he gets you. I don't know. Claire's was a lot more intense. I dig it.
I mean, me personally, I would have just shot him with the Magnum and then cranked open the door.
I know you would have. I know you would have. Yeah, let me guess. Did you get the achievement for shooting off his hat?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think you did. A fun fact, I think he gets more aggressive after you do that temporarily. If you wanted the game to be harder, just shoot his hat, bro. Why are you complaining about the difficulty?
Hey, I got the achievement. We've been over this.
The actual true ending is a lot better, but it's still not that great. I do like, though, so they get up back to the surface off the train and blah, 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 and they walk off into the sunset, but I do like the trucker. Nice little parallel to the beginning. A trucker drives past them towards Raccoon City, acting all high and mighty when he's about to get fucked. I love it. I did like that ending.
Yeah.
At least I assume he was driving towards Raccoon City. I think he was.
I probably, yeah. I would assume that Claire and Leon weren't walking back towards Raccoon City.
No, probably not. They were probably walking the opposite direction.
No, you know what? I'd be willing to bet they're walking towards Raccoon City. Claire hasn't found Chris yet.
Yeah, Leon doesn't think, and Claire hates Sherry and wants her to die. So yeah, they're walking towards Raccoon City.
What's the whole shit with Chris being on vacation, except Claire knows that he's not actually on vacation?
I don't know where Chris is. I don't know enough about Resident Evil lore. I'm sure it was explained at some point, but I have no idea where Chris is. Is he in RE3 at all? No, he's not, right? The stars...
No.
Well, I know Nemesis was created to take out stars. I know Jill is stars, but Chris is stars, and he's not there, is he?
I don't think so.
Or I think Chris is stars. Is Chris stars? I don't even know.
I don't know, but I know Brad and Jill are the only 2 stars members in the city during RE3.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't care much for the ending of this game, still, even with the new stuff. But ultimately, I don't like the ending of RE4, and I think RE4 is like an absolute easiest 10 out of 10 I've ever given a game, the RE4 remake at least. So I don't care that much. But ultimately, I like it, this game. It's pretty good.
I thought this game was pretty good as well.
I do wish that it had more music, though. It doesn't have enough music.
Oh, time to bring up my biggest complaint with the game. So, you know how when you die, it'll bring up like an option for you to like change to like a lower difficulty.
It only does it if you roll.
Well, I was mashing in the final boss, like to just try and get back into my thing, and so I didn't notice when it came up. So I actually switched to easy when I get to the very final boss of the game, and that pissed me off so much. I feel like that shouldn't just pop up, and it should be something like that you can do in an options menu of some kind.
You got outplayed.
I think it should be a pop-up, but there should be like a timer where it's grayed out until you can select it.
Yeah.
I will also add that we did reload your save, and you did.
What if I'm mashing for 5 minutes straight, though?
You did beat the game on normal. Because we reset.
Yeah.
But you had to redo the whole chase sequence.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was a good bit. But, yeah, I don't know. Do we want to give overall thoughts on the game already?
Yeah, let's do overall thoughts and scores.
Alright. I'll go last.
Okay. Hunter, you want to go first?
Yeah, let's do that.
8.5 out of 10, a little bit better than Luigi's Mansion.
Your rankings are just the best. I want a compilation of all of his rankings because they're so out there every time.
There's just too much water.
not the numbers, yeah, just the description. It's always like good or better than Super Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, it's great. So, as far as my opinion on the game, I'm known for having my good opinions. This is an important thing you should know about me if you're going to subscribe to the channel. And I constantly hear people say that this is one of, if not the best survival horror games. Again, this has been overhyped to me. But now whenever I hear people say that, I'm just going to think about Assassin's Creed 4. And how people say that's the best Assassin's Creed game.
Oh.
Because it's not that good, also, Assassin's Creed 4. I'd give Assassin's Creed 4 like a 7. And so...
Well, those things, they don't contradict. Assassin's Creed 4 can be the best Assassin's Creed and still be a 7 out of 10.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So now, whenever people are like, oh, Resident Evil 2 Remake is the best survival horror, I'm like, sorry?
Shit.
Got anything better? It's not bad, like I said, I'd give it like an 8, but like, an 8's your best?
That's so good, yeah. Very respectable.
And 7 out of those 10 points, by the way, is exclusively RPD.
Yeah, I assumed it was something like that. Well, I love this game a lot. It's so freaking good. It's imperfect, and I would say its flaws are pretty obvious. It's got some weird, uncanny shit. There's occasional moments of frustration with some terrible bosses. And the story is kind of a clusterfuck. But aside from those massive glaring problems which are apparent around every corner, I think the game's almost perfect. Honestly, outside of those massive glaring issues which are constantly apparent, I love pretty much everything else about the game. And I think I'm feeling like low 90s on this one. Just above a 9 out of 10 and below a 9.5. So let's be real picky and say 92.
I feel like this is one of those weird games where you can, like, you could be from a perspective where you say it's a 10 out of 10, or you could mount a really good argument for why it's a 3 out of 10.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. Because it really does have... It's like Tears of the Kingdom in that regard, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, yeah. It's like, it's got a lot of downgrades from Breath of the Wild, but also it's a 10.
It's so goddamn good. Yeah, it's a 10 with the most blatant, glaring, obvious, fixable flaws ever. That was about Tears of the Kingdom, so that was the purpose too. I'm really talking about Tears of the Kingdom.
We don't have time to talk about Tears of the Kingdom.
No, we don't. I was supposed to leave 8 minutes ago, but we're fine.
Alright, and here we are at the game wheel. We're not doing a bonus game this month because I think we all want to do fairly long games, so...
Yeah.
We're just going to keep it simple. We're just doing one game. Sorry if that's disappointing. But Wes, why don't you go ahead and pick first?
Okay, so I don't know if this is going to be a controversial pick, but I just finished up Elden Ring this past summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want to get back into Dark Souls. Dark Souls 1.
Dark Souls 1? Remastered, I assume, right?
Remastered, yeah, because it's just a convenience.
That makes sense to me. Okay. I'll go next after that. I think...
Okay.
I can keep it with the Soulsborne topic. I think I'm going to go with the first Soulsborne I ever played. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite Soulsbornes, but it was the first one, so I'm going to go with Dark Souls 1.
No, dude, I don't want to play Dark Souls 1, please. I do not. Do not put me through that, dude. Please. I played that game.
I think it'd be funny if I chose Dark Souls for the PS3.
Dark Souls...
You're not thinking...
PS3.
Have you guys seen what Blighttown looks
We
like
all
on
own
PS3?
PS3s, right?
Do you guys know what Dark Souls looks like on PS3?
The Switch version, but lower
But
resolution.
we do all own a PS3.
Bro, the frame rate doesn't exist.
Oh, that's fun.
It's unplayable.
Adam, do you own a PS3?
No, we're not playing Dark Souls on PS3.
Yeah,
We're not
PS3
playing
version
Dark Souls on
exclusive.
PS3.
Oh yeah, but
We're not doing it.
you can emulate it. You have
Fine, I'll get rid of the word PS3 and add 1.
Okay.
Alrighty, let's spin the wheel. You'll never believe this. What do you guys think it is?
We're playing Dark Souls for PS3.
Nope.
I think it might be Dark Souls, but I honestly hope it's Dark Souls Remastered.
It is... Paper Mario the Origami King!
Are you serious?
No, not actually. It's Dark Souls 1.